Start of the fourth quarter, guys. Our first ever live game chat. Nick Gelso here with marketing guru, sales guru, Guy Neer. And we should be live as the fourth quarter has begun. Suddenly, Clippers up one, bro.
I was going to say, like, I missed a little bit of the first half, but that second half, or excuse me, the second quarter, I mean, that's when the Celtics really started to pull away in the first half, and it just seemed like it seems like the Clippers, at least in that quarter, did not have an identity. Like, there was no hustle, there was no let's stop, Tatum and play tight D. They were chucking
Which
threes.
quarter?
That second quarter where the
Oh, I
Celtics
know,
really just
right.
took off.
Right.
And for most of this game, the Celtics have done a pretty good job at two things: A, attacking the glass, and B, really taking PG and Kawhi pretty much out of this game. But I'm interested to see how they respond to this fourth quarter. I'm actually kind of glad that they're losing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that even in that second, even at the beginning of the fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter, I felt like the Celtics were still kind of in control. And look at, they're only down 1 point here, but it's a 11-point swing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if I were to ask you who the deeper team is, what would you tell me?
I would actually say Boston is. I mean, looking at how the bench is performing, you think LA is?
So?
Yeah.
I mean,
we could disagree.
I don't know. I mean, I think, after both teams have two superstars, right? So on the Clippers side of it, they have Norman Powell, they have Marcus Morris, they have Reggie Jackson. They have a couple guys that can actually make a difference. Whereas, after maybe Derek White at that 7 spot in our rotation, that skill gap starts to widen pretty heavily. I'm not entirely sure though. Maybe you're right. Maybe the Celtics have a little bit of.
I mean, it was the second unit that really extended it in the second quarter, and really technically it was the first unit from last year that did it. Probably be the first unit again soon. But that third quarter, the Clippers just controlled the pace, and I think against a physical team like them, the Celtics have to run.
Yeah.
I mean, I at this point, yes, it's tied. It's been pretty close throughout, 10 or less, but I've felt throughout this entire game the Celtics were in control, with the exception of a minute or two in that third quarter where it could have gotten ugly. And that's because they're controlling the pace and because they're playing that. What are you laughing at?
Someone in the comment goes, John and Jimmy look a little different tonight.
No, Jimmy will be here, guys. We're going to, excuse me. See, you maybe said John. You got an anxious reaction there, but Jimmy's out, or John's out. Jimmy will be joining us. And then, of course, Bobby and Josue, possibly Sherrod from the Garden. We're testing out something new, guys. So we might figure, maybe in the new year we'll do live game reaction stuff. So you keep us posted on how you like it and comment below. And Guy, take over for 1 second while I get rid of these dying earbuds.
Sure thing. All right. We got Rob at the line. About 10 minutes left on the clock. I see Jeff's in here. What's going on, Jeff? All right. Celtics take a fourth quarter lead. Let's see if Rob can knock this second one down. How do we feel about this headband Rob's sporting? It's keeping the hair intact.
What are you doing? Talking about your haircut, dude?
No, I did get a haircut. No, I'm saying Rob's sporting a new headband. It's keeping the hair intact. It's not flying everywhere. Yeah, Rob is. Rob.
He is finally starting to really look like himself again. I mean, what an impact, both defensively and offensively.
I like the starting lineup today, back with Rob and Al in the starting lineup.
Right. That's what we've been kind of wanting to see. How would they play together? And looks pretty damn good in this game, at least. And imagine Brogdon's not even really playing. So Guy, give me a couple words so I test my audio. Your audio.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing 1, 2.
Test 1, 2. Go ahead.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Celtics are the best team. Clippers are
But
not.
well, you know what? I can hear you, so that's all I'm going to roll with. It's not real good here. I can hear you better in my earbuds, but these are jet blue earbuds that were $6.99 on the last flight I took that I needed them probably 5 years ago. So as long as you guys can hear us, we're fine. What are you gonna do? But
Nick will power
anyway,
through.
uh,
We got a couple people in here.
yeah, man. Thanks to the regulars for popping in. There's who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Making a new face. This new face has been here just behind the scenes, guys.
Who are the Celtics' biggest threats? I believe in the East, it's clearly Philly and Brooklyn. Milwaukee's there, but you saw what happened Christmas Day. I think if Middleton isn't able to play, the Celtics they're going to play right with Milwaukee and be the favorite to win. Hey
I
guys, I
mean,
love the love. Thanks for the love in the chat, guys. Appreciate that.
Nick, there's 9 minutes and 36 seconds left. Celtics are up 4, right? We're in commercial break. What do you want to see from the last 9 minutes from the Celtics?
I want them to, at the risk of sounding like Scal, I do want them to control the pace
Yeah.
because this Brooklyn team, this LA Clippers team, they want to bump and bruise. I mean, they're comparing them to a '90s team. I'm not really seeing it, but they're definitely more physical and don't want to run. The Celtics need to run, 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 run. If you
Yeah.
notice in that first quarter when they got off very strong, I think the first 4 shots were misses. They were all threes, and there was nobody in the paint to rebound. Then Marcus got his hands on the ball. Quick 2 assists, I think 5 points, a Tatum 3 and a 2, and then Jalen got hot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for the Celtics, I don't. There's going to be streaks throughout the season where they're just shooting on fire, and
Yeah.
we know what could happen then. I mean, they're clearly the favorite in the team, on the league, but they've got to learn. I think they are learning that when they do and have those inevitable dry spells, they got to do other things. Really, mainly attack the basket, and that's what I want to see in this last 10 minutes of the fourth, roughly 9 minutes.
Oof.
None of
Paul
that.
George hits a tough
I mean, what do you
shot.
do with that, man? What do
I
you do
mean,
with that?
I, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't guard that shot. What I'm curious to see is kind of piggybacking off what you just said with Celtics controlling the pace. I want to see them get to the free throw line and really get some easy points. Trading baskets is probably going to be something that happens in this fourth quarter,
Yeah, but
but
if you're the
slowing
Clippers,
the
sorry to
game
interrupt.
down.
If you're the Clippers, you don't want to trade baskets with Boston because they could quickly become explosive. But go ahead.
You're right, but the Celtics have a tendency to take bad shots late in games. So we've taken, I shouldn't say we, I'm a retired Celtic. Um,
Yeah, how many points you scored tonight, bro?
the Celtics have taken 15 free throws so far where we're at now in the game. If we can see maybe a couple more trips to the line, build this lead a little bit, they won't have to rely on hitting or even attempting to take deep threes or contested twos. Um, I really want to see them get to the line and play good defense, which they have been really all game. I've been pleased with the defense tonight.
Is the defense back?
I don't think so. I'm not there yet. They've been playing pretty well since they've gotten back from the West Coast trip. Um, but they haven't really played any contending team, in my opinion, just yet. So I'll wait for that game to happen. And you know, the Bucks obviously on Christmas was a great game. Um, but I'm not ready to say that the defense is back just yet. I want to see Rob,
Well, tonight he
play
is.
for sure,
You,
for sure, for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, but I get what you're saying. I think we have a sample size, two or three games where the defense has been consistent throughout. Tonight's one of them, man. And I think it starts and ends with two guys, Marcus and Rob. I mean, that they're the obvious choices,
Yeah.
but being Rob is coming off of injury and just been, already has missed a game due to illness, which clearly is attacking our locker room at the moment, because Brogdon's out with the same illness, it seems.
Yeah, we have Jay, I think it's Jay Jav Dav, if that's how you pronounce it correctly, saying he's asking if this might be a finals preview. What do you think? You think you might see a Clippers Celtics finals?
The West is so frigged up right now, right? I mean, Phoenix is a regular season team. Well, we always say that, right? So I don't know that we're going to see Phoenix, even though they may be the front running team. It's just hard as a legacy NBA fan to ever think the Clippers would be in the finals,
Yeah.
especially with the
Yeah.
Lakers having LeBron. But it's possible, and I think from this game, watching how it's being played, I think it would be a good series. I give the edge to Boston. I know that we saw the last game, the Celtics kind of fall. Tatum and Brown kind of slumped with against Leonard, but and their duo Kawhi. But I think overall as a team, and I know you just questioned the Celtics bench or depth compared to LA, but I tend to think I like the Celtics bench right now. Versus almost any Western team, to be honest with you. I just think that it's the East we have to worry about.
So so if the Celtics were to get out of the East, do you think it even matters who they play in the West in the finals, if that's the case?
I mean, it always matters because last year, through three games, I think we all thought the Celtics were going to be raising banner 18 this year. So it always matters because the West still has really talented guys, and their
Yeah.
teams are still really good. But the East, that road to the finals is going to be. We thought last year was tough. It's going to be tough this year too, and
So how
it
important is
just
seeding
makes you
like
stronger.
how important is seeding then?
They say less now than it used to be. I still find it to be important. I think the home court advantage throughout is important, even though this team, this current roster has proven they could win Game 7 on the road.
Yeah.
You always want that at home. I think with Golden State, with playing the Warriors, that hurt them.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, no, that was home court. Was the Celtics had no? The Warriors had
No,
home
the
court.
Warriors had they
That
played
hurt
game 1
them.
and 2
I think
in
that
San Fran.
definitely hurt them. I mean,
Yeah.
although this team is a good road team.
Yeah, no, they are resilient. What do you think it says about this team being able to compete at a high level, and obviously, they're winning right now, knock on wood. To do this without their head coach, Joe Mazzulla. Do you think it's anything?
If anything, it shows Stoudemire is pretty damn good filling. I mean, the one thing I think Joe's absence said to me, well, Rob's minute limitation. Now, how many minutes does Rob have tonight? Let's see the box score here. Right now, Rob is at 17 minutes, so he might go over that 20-minute mark, but he's been
Yeah.
hovering right between 19, 21, 22,
Yeah.
and that's with Missoula out on a dime last game, like literally after he did the pregame with Abby. I don't know how much translated over. I think Stoudemire said he didn't even know until he hit the court. So that the Rob Williams minutes seems to be a front office dictation because it was understood from Missoula to Stoudemire without anybody saying anything as LA is down 7 minutes with possession.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm gonna tell you, Paul George is showing. He's reminding us why why he's so good, man. I mean, these are tough shots.
It's it's definitely time to put Tatum back in, David Price. You are absolutely correct.
What do I think Grant will get in free agency? Well, I certainly hope not 20 million. I think a fair number for Grant is between 13, 12, 13, maybe 15. But you start getting close to 20, he's shown in the last couple of games. Grant's good, man. I mean, I don't want to see him leave this team. But you're going to have to re-sign Tatum and Brown soon, and those guys are going to be looking for supermax money. You look at Grant's contributions when he's not having a Grant night, Jalen. When he's not having a Grant night, I don't know if it warrants 20 million. And the Grant nights are one a week, right? I don't know, guy. I mean, he's always good, but he's never
I
20 million good.
personally, I might be in a minority, in my opinion here, but I honestly don't think it would be that hard to replace Grant Williams through the draft, even. Um, I,
That's really insulting. I mean,
I,
that would
I,
mean you'd
I,
have to come in and have immediate impact whoever they draft.
what I'm saying is you have guys on the bench like Brogdon and Derek White, and Cornette is not the greatest, but he does offer you that stretch ability in a size position, whereas Grant is undersized, and I think that definitely hurt the Celtics in that Warriors series in the finals. Um,
No, what hurt the Celtics was Rob's minutes restrictions, I think.
well, okay, but that compounds the issue of size, right?
I
So,
agree. Yeah, no, you're right.
so I don't know. I don't think Grant does anything spectacularly other than
No,
effort.
but effort, great locker room guy, great practice guy. When he's hitting the three, which that means that I mean, I think he's still right around the high 40s, isn't he? When he's taking good threes and hitting them, and when he's engaged. But this team, speaking of, Jalen just hit again. I mean, Jalen's a culprit of it too. Sometimes they end up getting lost. So, I mean, to me, it's just a matter of cap. It's not that you don't want. It's not that you don't want. I forget what I was saying because our producer was messaging us his opinion on Grant. So our producer said he's a glue guy, all around solid defense. The three ball needs to be there. So basically, what I said exactly. I
and
agree.
and I believe that you can find that exact player in the draft without paying 20 million a year. Uh,
I agree. I don't. I
so
still, but that doesn't mean I want to see Grant go. I really would
I
like to
agree.
keep him.
I don't either. I don't either. But
They're gonna
how much
match
long
whoever.
how much longer does Al have left? Right, you're gonna have to
Well,
start thinking about replacing Al as well.
you are, but I mean, I think Al slides right into it. He's already a player coach, so I mean, replacing his size for sure. I mean, what really is the linchpin here on the bigs, I think, besides going after a TPE maybe and getting another backup serviceable or somebody maybe at the trade deadline. Besides those things, our bigs really are contingent upon Rob Williams' ability to remain on the court.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's see if Bobby and Josue did the over under segment the other day. I think it was after the Rockets game, and
Yeah,
I
what did they
think they
pick
had
for
an
that one? I saw them
they had an
throw that.
over under for games played that for Rob, how many games he'll play this season. I think the over under was set at 44 and a half. And that's including postseason.
So
So
he's
if he can,
basically Anthony Davis games. Can you
yeah,
believe that bum
essentially,
is back on the injured list? I
I
mean, he had
just
how many
some
good games, and they're calling for him to be MVP, and he's already back in street clothes. I mean, the dude wins the finest dressed award of the NBA because that's all he does is dress up for the bench. What a shame. So here we are, 104.99, 5:32 left in the fourth. The Zebras are reviewing a call. It looks like
doesn't it seem like Kawhi has no interest in playing
he
basketball?
always seemed that way though. He seems very. He's like a one of those guys. I just did that guy. I'm always telling my guys not to smack like that. I just did it. But he's one of those guys that yeah, no matter how great he is, he never looks like he's trying.
Yeah, I was
But he
exactly.
is.
I know, but it looks like he's not even
Isn't
like
that
his head's
called
not
like?
even the game.
That's called like cool, right? He's
Yeah, I
cool.
get, I,
He's
I get,
cool.
I guess, but he's like not a good example of cool.
He's a miserable example of cool, but I hear I don't know him, but I hear he is a really, really, really super nice guy. Like
Yeah.
everybody I know that knows him says that.
Yeah, no, I
This
mean
has
he
been a great
he
game,
seems
dude.
like a nice guy. I mean, I wouldn't know, you know, true or false, but
This
just from on the court.
this could be a tremendous win going into the new year. I don't know how much meaning that has in life. I think it has a lot starting a new, fresh year. I don't know in basketball, but getting through 2022 with a good win here. And I
Mhm.
like that it's a gritty game. I don't want a blowout. I want to see the Celtics have to grind to get the win, the W. Hey
So
guys, if
Jalen's
you're in
got
here
five
watching,
fouls.
guys, if you guys are in here watching, and there are a bunch of you, and I appreciate that. Do us a favor, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell. Because can you believe, guy, you know this because you do the sales, so you know all the stats. But can you believe that only 18% of our monthly views are coming from subscribers?
Guys, tell your friends to subscribe. Click those buttons, man. They
I
help.
mean, we do better than industry standard, but the point is, the more subscribers, the more it helps us get noticed. So please, if you're not subscribed, a lot of people aren't, and they don't even know. Subscribe, and if you really like us, hit the notifications in the corner. Eesh.
Oh
Okay,
man,
and I
so
say
Mook,
long rebound. What?
so
Stuff.
Jalen, so Nick, Jalen's got five fouls, right? So
Yep.
he's not even on the court right now.
Yep.
I'm curious to see how how do they respond to that because Jalen's been kind of saucy all game,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I like that saucy. He has been saucy all game. Well, that's how they reply
oh,
to it, guy.
Derek White, Nick. What did I tell you when the Celtics traded for Derek White?
Yeah, that was how many months ago, and through the horrendous, his horrendous finals um, showing.
He's coming alive when it counts in the regular
No,
season
man,
against the Clippers.
when he's good, he is damn good, and I like his haircut, and I think that he's shown greatness during that opening streak. I mean, tonight, 6 of 8, 14, can't beat that. And doing it in crunch time. Now, one thing I don't like is, and it looked to me like, listen, I like when they set up the offense, great,
Hmm.
but 4 minutes left, long defensive board for Tatum. He had numbers, and then he pauses. I think he was looking at the clock or waiting for Stoudemire to give him direction. But at this point, if you got numbers, go. There's still 4 minutes left in this game.
Yeah, I'm
You're
not a
only
big
up
fan of
five.
totally. I'm not a big fan of the slow like play
What
the
is going
clock.
on right now?
They're trying to they're doing
That's the
exactly that. They're playing the
dumbest.
clock.
Yeah, that's dumb.
I agree. I'm not a fan of it. Just play the
If
game,
Tommy
man.
were here, if Tommy were with us, God love him, he'd be going, run! Don't hold the ball! Because you never hold the ball with 4 minutes left. Look at they're playing like there's 40 seconds left. Hit that, Grant. Ah!
He earned it. He earned it.
Now,
He earned his contract.
that's how they drew it up, so we're wrong.
All
Well,
right,
I
let's
mean, it's
see.
one of those
Of course, the
nights.
ball's in Paul George's hands. He's going to drive and kick.
I mean, the Garden sounds really locked
Oh
in.
yes.
Oh, there it is. And that's why he is
So so
defensive player of the year.
Marcus Smart is never going to have an All-Star on his resume, but that's not indicative of the impact he has at his position. Like he should definitely at least have one All-Star. The depoy alone, like if you have a Defensive
Only
Player of
one
the
other
Year
player. I
award,
heard this the other night on this very show. Only one other player or in NBA history that defensive player of the year never was an All Star. Do you know who?
uh, no.
Michael
Is it
Cooper.
within?
He's
Is it
right
my?
here
Is
on
it?
this network. Michael Cooper, host of the Showtime podcast.
Well, there you go.
Coop, defensive player of the year. How are you an all star with Kareem, Magic, Worthy, all on your team? Oh, and just Jamal Wilkes and Byron Scott. I mean, there's not going to choose the whole all star team. Is it going to be Lakers? And I think that could Marcus be the third? Yeah, but I don't think he's averaging double digits, right? I mean, I
I don't know
agree.
about that.
So much of it it doesn't show up on the box score with him. But I just, what do you guys think in the chat? Is Marcus an All Star? Is he the third All Star?
If you're a Celtics fan, you better vote for him.
That is not true. That's what I can't stand about young Celtics fans. If you are a Celtics fan, you can't criticize or be critical of Jaylen Brown.
Do I
Because then
sound
you're
like
not a
that?
real friend. No, but that's what they sound like on Twitter. I barely go on anymore from all the trolling.
Guys, while we're on the bench right now, I want to remind everybody to go follow CLNS Media on Instagram and Twitter.
Boom!
Please follow us. We've been putting a lot of effort into our social media, so
Love
we hope
that
you
too.
guys are enjoying that. We want to hear from you guys. Any ideas you guys have, anything that you want to see that we're not currently showing you, let us know, and we will do our best to provide that to you. We have accounts on basically every platform: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, so on and so
Most
forth.
of
So
them
if you,
start like Celtics CLNS is usually how
yeah,
you
so if
get
you
to
could
me.
go give us a follow, that'd be great. We appreciate it.
Well, there's a comment here for Guy. Am I missing something, guys? His name is Guy. Don't include me in that because I defended the bench. So that should be Guy. Am I missing something? I hear from a lot that we don't have a good bench. I think our bench is amazing. I don't know if I'd say amazing, but I like our bench versus the Clippers bench. Go ahead, Guy.
I was very pleased with the Malcolm Brogdon move, you know, and I think that gave us the ability to, be a little bit more flexible with our rotation. So I definitely like our bench, um, but I don't have 100% confidence in them just yet. They got to show me a little bit more.
They got to be more consistent, I think. And yes, Must 31. I think that was you or whomever it was. Put it up there. Do versus don't. Yoda. Rob is back. You're right. I agree. I agree. I agree. Now he just can't get injured. Right, guy.
Please, please don't. And there's Kawhi hitting a three. Oh, a deep two. Is that a two?
Where's his court awareness? MVP. 2 minutes left. Celtics are up by 8, and I think it's safe to say pulling away in this one. But there's still a lot of time left. Two
Oh
minutes.
my goodness.
I think that might have been travel.
It
Let's look at
always
let's look at
it
those
always
steps.
appears like Tatum is driving out of control.
One, two. That was not a travel. That was called long legs expanded.
Go
No,
go gadget
never. I think
legs.
don't. I have to think Tatum always looks under control. I don't get that at all. Brown, yes, but I think part of Tatum's. I don't want to disagree with you, but gotta. Super chat. Super chats, guys. Not gonna, we appreciate it. We'll take it. Just so you know, I take none of it. It goes 100% to the host. So even if I'm hosting a show, it's going to the guys hosting the post game show. Right here on this very same feed, immediately following the closing buzzer. So from Elements 1985, super chat $5. Thank you. Boston fraud ticks. Sixth worst in the NBA. God, I hate this team. I openly root against them. Am I a bad person? No, you're an objective thinker. As long as when they beat your team, if your team's even making the playoffs, you say, good win, my team blows, then I'm all good with all this crap. If it's real. I think he's trolling us.
That
He's
five
trolling
dollars,
us.
the $5 is going to John's pie fund. Absolutely, pour in
There
the
it
money,
is.
guys. John needs the money for pies.
I think Jimmy's getting more hard hats too. He's going to construct more hard hats. Bobby, tape measure for the hands. Bobby will be here later too. Jimmy,
Josue's getting a
Toscano.
new router for his Wi-Fi.
Josue's trying to hook up to broadband from phone line from a phone jack modem. Okay, so the meeting of the minds here. We have a timeout. The Clippers, 135 left, 6 point game, way within the Clippers' grasp here, 2 buckets away. The Celtics have the Clippers with no fouls to give, so attack the damn basket. I think now's when you start to slow it a little, but you're not necessarily, dragging the ball. Like, were they running the picket fence before? What the frig was that they were
I'm not
doing?
sure.
It was a
I am not
weave of
sure.
some sort.
So Nick, the Celtics have taken one free throw since I mentioned how I would like to see them get to the line.
And they
Now
have
they're
they have they
go
have
ahead.
LA in the penalty, so there's no excuse. They need to get to the line now.
They need to get the line. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why do these reviews take so long
Why do they talk into the PA system
to
like it's
tell like the
football?
fans?
That's what the announcer's for. Like, does Adam Silver need to make more stars in this league? Now we're gonna make the rep stars too and give them a microphone for being.
Can we get some boomer rages in the chat because Nick's starting to
No, no,
boil
no.
a
I'm
little bit.
happy tonight. No rage. I'm gonna rage at my dog in 2 minutes, who's like eating my hand as we speak.
Yeah, yeah.
My dog, you know. And if I push him away, he'll start barking. All right. I don't know what they're deciding here.
I think there was a challenge on the
There was
on
a
the.
challenge. It's unsuccessful. Celtics are in the bonus. Attack the basket. If you take threes that are contested, you are an idiot. Look at everybody loves the boomer age guy.
Yeah, more boomer rages in the chat.
Nah, that was a COVID thing, I think. I was like, here come everybody. Everybody, welcome in to our live reaction, watch party, whatever. And to those that just joined, because the audience just doubled quickly, and it will continue to now as the quarter's winding down. As we will. This is Guy Near from CLNS, and I'm me, and we will take you right up to closing buzzer when Guy drops off. Jimmy Toscano will hop on, and we'll do our normal post game format directly from this feed that we're on right now, which is convenient. Basically, we've been noticing you guys chatting in here in the fourth quarter, so why not join you? Can't say we're going to do it constantly, but we do have, we do have the intention to do it often.
All right, we got
No,
Marcus
John
Smart.
didn't get fired. He just had tonight off. John will be back after the
He's
New Year.
making pies.
He's making pies for New Year's Eve. All right, baby. Jaylen Brown, open three, in and out.
Not a good shot. Like not
Not a
not
good
even
early shot clock, too.
just not a good shot. And this is a question that like starts to creep into my head. It's about maturity. Like, is that a maturity thing? Like they know this. They know this. They know that they're up in a two possession game. It's early in the shot clock, and you chuck up a three. Why? Against a team that has two very capable closers.
45 seconds left. Celtics up three with possession. The other
Again,
not great
like
shot.
again, just settling.
I mean, this game may go to overtime. That's a great take right there. They should have blown the whistle if that was, that was
Cross
a
the half
great.
court.
Yep, there we
Yep.
go. Now, come on.
All right,
Now,
there you go.
relax. Get fouled. Give it. Don't give it to Marcus. Not the greatest foul shooter. We know don't give it to Brown. He can miss five in a row, like on Christmas. Give it to Tatum, baby. Don't shoot that now. No, pull
Why
it
shoot
out.
that
Pull
one?
it out.
Yeah. Why? Oh
Whatever.
my
Now it's a
god.
two possession game, man.
Oh my goodness.
You
Oh
know
my.
what, guy? Your comment. I think you're right. Like you think that, but this is the product, and this is great defense too. By the way, look, look, look. That would have been a foul normally in the NBA, even though I don't believe it is a foul. Great for the Celtics. Love this Stoudemire guy. Loved him as a player too, by the way. But to answer your question, I think it's a product, or your comment to add to it. I think that sometimes that it's a lack of poise. I think at times, and it's a product of not being overcoached, which I don't
Yeah.
think is a bad thing.
Hmm.
I think it's kind of a good thing. But if the coach is going to let them play and not draw up a play, I'm not saying it's a coach's fault, but you leave yourself prone to letting that happen because shooters think every shot is going in. And Jalen wasn't completely, he was just off balance. But anyway, let's see what happens here. But I agree with you.
Oh my
Oh, Al
goodness.
Horford!
How old is that man? He
And I'll
looks
tell you
20.
what, that's one of the rare times you'll see Kawhi even complain about a no call or call. He rarely has reaction. But let's see. Clean as a whistle, baby. Is a whistle clean?
Yeah, I think
Oh, that is
freshly
clean.
a whistle fresh out of the package is as clean as it gets, I think.
Tim, I hope that highlight's going to be on the Instagram channel, Celtics CLNS. Hoobie Doobie. As he put in the chat, Boomer intensifying. Good Boomer. No rage, folks. Thanks to all you joined us in the fourth quarter. We're going to take you right up to postgame, where I'm actually filling in for John Zannis. It is temporary, folks. Don't cry. But at the same time, don't be too psyched either, because, I'm pretty good. But no, John's the best. He'll be back
If you
quick.
guys want, we'll give you a P.O. box. You could send your love letters to John while he's away.
He may be back by the time they arrive via the post.
No, he'll do a live on air reading of the love letters.
No, he'll have like Bobby or me go on air and read his love letters of his choice to people. He would never do that. Are you kidding me? Oh! Tim, if you want to hit up Jimmy and just see, he can pop on anytime. If he's not already here, I think I see him. Nope, I don't yet. So, Tim, if you want to hit up Jimmy, that'd be great. So, player of the game for NBC is, I think, deservingly Marcus Smart, 17 points. They were bitching about him in our Discord for chucking. I mean, come on, man. Look at that stat line. All right with the compliments. And this is my favorite right here, guy. You ready? Landon. We love John, too.
What about CLNS? What about CLNS? Can we get some I love CLNS in the chat?
Oh, fuck them. No, I'm just kidding. Did I just drop an F-bomb?
I didn't hear it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So Jimmy T will be coming on in a minute. Bobby Manning is going to join us from TD Garden. And thank you, guys. See what you caused, guy. Wow, man, that's great. Bobby, so is Josue, producer extraordinaire. Ahmed is over there, and we're lucky to have Tim right here behind the board with us. So stick around, guys. We're here basically because we noticed like hundreds of you guys show up in the fourth quarter and use it kind of as a chat. So, guys, you guys are really making. You're really making me flustered.
You're flustering the big guy.
I'm blushing. But oh my God, I love the Celtics too. But anyway, we're gonna take it right up to closing buzzer, which just went off. Jimmy just got paged, so he's leaving the green room with his makeup on, heading over here to the postgame show, where he will join me. Guy will go, and if you guys are wondering who Guy is, he's the one who makes it all possible here, because kind of like he sells the ads. So you guys love Calm, you love Manscaped, you love Athletic Greens, you love who else? Rocket
Money and HelloFresh. And
that's the guy right there. He's the guy who makes the post game happen, folks. It's him. So
I would normally say I don't want to take all the credit, but I mean, if you're going to give it to me, I'll take it. Why not?
You might as well, right? You might as well. Let's get this back to normal. So Jimmy's logging on any minute. Guy's going to hang around until he gets here. And, there he is. The man.
Asking you shall receive.
Man, that was
Jimmy, you saved me. Now I can go.
Guy, you can't go now, dude.
Actually, Guy, you have to stay because Boomer Rage is going to quickly use the facility and then come back.
Oh, wow. Okay. I know
TMI.
So, Nick, let me get this straight. You've been rolling for 40 minutes right now?
The whole fourth quarter, yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy, we did a fourth quarter live showing.
Guy, should I be nervous? Are we about to get canceled?
To be honest, he's only dropped one F-bomb, so I think we're in the clear for right now, honestly.
Oh my God. Okay,
Jimmy,
we're gonna have to. Zannis is gonna be watching this back, sweating bullets the entire time. I know that.
He already is, man. He made sure wherever he was going didn't have Wi-Fi or any cell service, so he couldn't ruin his trip by watching this and worrying. But
Fair,
Jimmy
very
T,
smart.
here to the rescue. And before I step out for 1 minute, Jimmy, this is OG, baby. That's where it all started.
This is OG. Guy was in diapers when we started this show, Nick.
He was in
Guy was
diapers.
walking
Guy, how
around-
old
Yeah.
were you?
Running
Wait a
around
minute.
in
Let's talk
diapers.
about this, Jimmy.
Well,
How
no, let's
old
not.
was
Let's not,
Guy?
Nick. Go, Nick.
Really
people don't
quick.
wanna-
Wait.
Nick. People don't want to hear this. Go to the bathroom. Do your thing. Come on back. I'm gonna
Unless
chat
they tell
with
us in
Guy.
the chat. All right. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna chat with Guy about this game. So it's just me and Guy now. Guy, are you there?
I'm here, man.
All right, good. Wow, that Nick's loud over there. Nick's got that loud background noise apparently, because now it's.
It's got that vibrato.
All right, so as you guys probably already heard, we got Celtics over Clippers tonight, 116-110. This was a back and forth game, Guy. I mean, especially that fourth quarter or the second half, really.
Yeah.
Celtics with the lead. Clippers come all the way back. Celtics pull away. Some really big plays down the stretch. Obviously, Marcus Smart's steal there to give them. I think it was like close to I think that made it a 112-110 or 112-102 or something like that.
Yeah, I think
the
that put it to
time.
like 4 possessions.
Yeah, that was a big steal. Kind of changed the momentum of where it was going. Obviously Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum with another big duo game. Tatum just missed that 30-point marker that everyone could have used for their statistics. Missed that free throw at the end of the game there, but it was already out of. The game was over at that point. Al Horford with a great block on old friend Marcus Morris Sr. there, and Celtics come out with a fourth straight win after 3 straight losses. So that's how you salvage a little homestand right there. It's exactly how you do it. Now they got some serious momentum here. I think a lot of people can feel much better about this team today than they could have. A week or so ago, going into that Timberwolves game, there are a lot of questions as to what happened to these guys. Are they broken? Did the Warriors break them? Are they, should we panic? Are they front runners? This, that, and the other thing. I'm sure you probably heard some of it on this show too. But, we go from one extreme to the other in this world, not just in sports, but certainly in sports. So I don't think anyone's really about to crown the Celtics as the champions after this little winning streak, but certainly I think we can all feel a lot better about where they're at. A couple of really good wins here. Timberwolves, this one tonight against the Clippers. Who they just beat two days ago?
Rockets.
The
Rockets. Yeah, that was a nice, entertaining game. That was a fun game. Jaylen Brown went off in that one. So a lot of things to be happy about. Nick, what you watched this game from start to finish. What stood out to you in this one early on?
Yeah, I mean, so to start the first quarter, I'm not going to take it play by play through the first, but they're chucking up threes. The first 4 attempts, I think, were contested threes, and then Marcus got involved. They started moving. They controlled the pace through 3 of the 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And defense is back, Jimmy. Defense is back. And then in the second quarter, we got to see what everybody's been clamoring for, and that's the death lineup, whatever they call it, the kids, the Death Star lineup.
They call them the death lineup? That's new.
I don't know. The original starting 5 that hit the finals last year. They were calling it the nuclear lineup in Discord or something. I don't know. But that
shout out
lineup,
Discord. Discord's always bumping. If you guys are Discord fans, we'll have to toss the link link up in the chat at some point for anyone who likes Discord. It's a great Celtics community that we have. Actually, super producer Ahmed is a very frequent visitor. He probably runs the Discord for all we know at this point. But anyways, go on, Nick. There you have it. Ahmed just chimed in. He said, "I am king." He's king of Discord.
I don't even know how he's here right now, but Ahmed is everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Omnipresent.
He's just in the clouds.
Ahmed is more of like he's just a being.
He is a being. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, Ahmed is just there.
He's just there.
So a lot of people are joining the show right now and saying who's this, who's that. So we have Nick Gelso in the upper right corner. Nick Gelso, owner of CLNS. He's I guess the reason why we're all kind of here at some point. And then we have Guy Neer, who does all the behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't really know about. He handles a lot of social media stuff for us. He was just at the Garden, which is pretty cool. Little TikTok, would you call that, Guy, of your experience kind of with the press pass?
Yeah, I did a little mini. I'd call it a mini vlog. Nick likes
Mini
to call it a
vlog.
diary, but the diary
Mini
kind of
vlog.
makes me feel like I'm an emotional person. So I'd prefer a mini vlog than
Yeah.
a diary.
For the chicks, it was a mini vlog.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
So if you guys
Yeah,
want to
it
get a
did
little
really well, man. It got thousands and thousands of views.
little
Thanks to those who turned
yeah,
in.
little behind the scenes look at kind of what it's like to be a member of the media for a game night. It was pretty
Yep.
cool. So these guys are going to be hanging out with us for a bit. I think Guy's going to dip like shortly. So Guy,
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out with the.
Whenever you guys give me the boot, I'm ready.
How about this? When Josue gets here, you can slide out. Does that sound good?
Sounds good with
Unless
me.
you have an emergency that you got to get out of here for, but otherwise, we'll hang out for a bit. And then so yeah, anyone joining us right now, that's the quick little backstory on these two. Maybe you'll be seeing them in and out of our shows here and there moving forward. Certainly, Nick has, I think a lot of people, if you have heard the term boomer rage, it was basically invented because of Nick Gelso here. So, Nick, getting back to it, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we were kind of going over. We're not kicking him out. He's welcome to stay as long as Guy's welcome to stay as long as he likes. But I know he's been on here for 45 minutes already, and certainly, anytime you hang out with Nick Gelso for over 45 minutes, it's kind of time to go. So if he needs to call it, then that's totally fine. But back to the game, guys. Nick, you were talking. I wasn't really.
Yeah, basically what I was saying was once they inserted that first
death
glimpse,
lineup,
we've gotten from Rob out, like the whole starting five. They really put separation. And honestly, besides a small stint in the third quarter, it felt like the Celtics were in control this entire game, even though it got close in the third. Go ahead.
No, go on.
No. I mean, in the third quarter, there was a short stint where the Clippers, between Paul George, Kawhi hitting some threes, but really it was all about. I hate to it's starting to become cliche, but it was all about the pacing and the spacing. Once the game slowed down, it was L.A. that narrowed the gap and really quick, within like 3 or 4 possessions, had it to a 1-point game, and I think took the lead for a moment. And then in the fourth quarter, between Marcus, Jason, and Jalen, they put it away. And Rob was outstanding in this game for what we got of him. Of course, he's one of the best at maximizing minutes I've ever seen, to be honest with you, making the most of his minutes. Now, this year we've not seen it quite as much because of the injury, and he's been limited. Tonight, we saw it. I mean, there was a play where I think he had 4. How many offensive rebounds did he have for the game? I think he had 4 at least touches or hockey offensive rebounds.
Hockey rebounds, we talked about that, yeah.
Yeah. In one possession.
He had 4.
Yeah, he had 4, I think, in that one possession. And, man, he was the Rob we've come to really, hope to see all the time. And what the Celtics will need as they enter 2023 here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing that, and again, one of the reasons why the Clippers were able to come back is the Celtics shot horrible from 3 tonight, 28%.
Yeah, but Jimmy,
Tatum,
I don't want to. Go ahead.
What? You don't want to what?
I don't want to take away from the fact that they played really, and it's rare you see them play well when they don't shoot well from 3. And I was saying to Guy during our fourth quarter watch party, I'm almost starting to feel like, a team like the Celtics, I don't want to go back in time too far, but Jimmy, we covered it. So it reminds me of like 2008, 9, 10, 12, 11, 12, Orlando Magic. Do you remember they lived by the 3, they died by the 3? Now, the Celtics are obviously probably a better team than them, but they were the first real team to do that and go all the way to the NBA Finals. What the Celtics were having a hard time with and have to this point has been when the 3 sucks, they stop everything. Tonight, they went harder on defense. And I think so that number you throw out there, I think in this case, most cases it's kind of like, oh shit, another one of those nights. But in this case, it ended up being a positive because they fought through it and ended up taking the win.
And if you let me see, if you had let me say 3 words in a row, I would have had that but in there. But I couldn't.
Wait a minute, I'm filling in for John Zannis here.
That's true. That's a good point. But I couldn't even get the stat out of my mouth before you cut me off. But yeah, my point was, this game became close again because the Celtics couldn't rely on that three-pointer tonight. They were able to do it in other ways, but you look at Jason Tatum, 3 of 11. Look at Jaylen Brown, 0 of 8. So, I mean, credit to those guys for being able to find other ways to score because they both finished with 29. Tatum got to the line 10 times, although he only went 6 of 10 from the line, which is, obviously
And
not.
on a night where, like you guys said, they struggled hitting those threes, they also did not get to the line at all in the second half, barely. And they were still able to pull away. When Nick and I were on in the fourth quarter, and just as you highlighted, Jimmy, after that Smart steal, I think it put the game, to a 4-possession game or something like that, maybe a 3-possession game.
Yeah. Yep, 4-possession game.
And Nick started to say that we may, the Celtics may have just kind of solidified a win right there, but before you knew it, it was a 3-point game. You know what I mean?
So the clock, yeah, exactly.
So, end of the game, when you have an opponent that has 2 closers in Kawhi and Paul George, I would have liked to see the Celtics try and get to the rim, and if it's a foul, great. You get to the line, you get some easy buckets. But we didn't see that at all. I think they had one free throw attempt, which was an and one in the last 9 minutes of the fourth quarter. So I think,
and they were in the penalty. I mean, the Celtics were in the bonus.
Yeah, and exactly. That's even more of a reason, right, to try and get into the painted area and get some contested points. But we didn't see that. So regardless, they got the win, and I'm happy about that. But I still would have liked to see them, try and make a bigger effort to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's odd. This team is going to shoot 3-pointers. This is who they are. This is a 3-point shooting team. They're not going to change overnight. I do agree with you, Guy. They do need to be aggressive, and it's almost like it's like a good football team. You want to be able to attack with the pass and with the run. You don't want to be predictable.
Right.
If you know that you're going to be running the ball all game, then you're going to stack the box. If you're going to be throwing the ball all game, then you're going to change up your defense on that end or whatever. So I mean, this isn't a football show, so I'm not going to get into the X's and O's of it, but. Same thing with basketball. If you're that predictable and if you rely too heavily in one way to win, then teams are going to game plan for that and they're going to get you out of that in some way, shape, or form. So the Celtics do need to make a point to be aggressive, attack the rim. And again, I think Jaylen Brown is becoming one of the best players around in terms of, getting, ahead of steam and, whether he's pulling out for the 12-footer or driving to the hoop. We talked about it two nights ago. This guy's just a bona fide scorer. He'll score any way, shape, or form out there at the rim, the step back, little jumper, or 3-point line. You really don't know. Now, obviously tonight the 3-point shot wasn't falling. It'll fall. He could easily go 4 for 6, in the next game. He's just one of those guys where he can be a little streaky at times. Certainly a night like that, shooting isn't going to sway him from shooting the next night. We know that about him. He can. The highs are very high and the lows can be very lows. Again, the fact that they were able to pull it off tonight against a very, very good Clippers team, against a duo that some consider, when healthy, arguably the best duo in the NBA, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They really are healthy, but you know what? They are tonight. They are now. They are tonight, and this was a good sort of barometer. Kind of reminds me of, it's kind of like it's a little extreme, like the Ghost of Christmas Past would be like Kawhi and PG. They're not the past. They're more like maybe the present. And Tatum and Brown are kind of like the present, but also the future. Like you're talking about a duo that kind of has similar positions, similar roles within their team. Obviously, Tatum and Brown are younger versions and on the up and up. I think, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard certainly are extremely talented players and all-stars. And, I would say both of them are going to probably be in the NBA Hall of Fame. Those are two guys that the Celtics, like Tatum and Brown can kind of look to and say, okay, like, these guys play a certain type of way together. Here's what works, here's what doesn't. It's cool to watch that matchup happen. I feel like we haven't had a lot of those when these two teams meet. Somebody's out, somebody's not 100%, especially because of the injuries that those two players, Kawhi and Paul George, have had over the years. So this was a great test for the Celtics tonight. Obviously, too, this was a bit of a revenge game because the Clippers stomped them in LA.
Yeah. Which I love.
In the aftermath of the Warriors loss, the Celtics did get stomped by the Clippers as well. So this is a good sort of response by the Celtics tonight.
Which, honestly, Jimmy, I think over the year or two that this team has transitioned to the Tatum Brown team, they've not been great at payback games. So tonight, I was listening to pregame and on NBC, and Scal or not Scal, Eddie and Perk were going on about they got who just took that
I
off.
did, Nick.
I want
Nick.
to react to that.
It's been up for 10 minutes. Either
Well,
react to it
all
or
right.
don't.
Well, you talked for 10 minutes straight.
That's what I do. Welcome.
Postgame show, guys.
What's your point? You already talked about the Magic.
Because
this is your way to
I want to make sure
this is the Magic Postgame Show. Welcome everybody to the Magic Postgame Show. We are here with Nick Gelso and Guy Near. Nick, talk to us about the 09 Magic team.
This comment is proving my point. That's what I was saying. That I don't want to go away with people thinking that the 09 Magic team was what I want this team to be. That's not what I want them to be. I'm saying they can't be that team, which is basically what I'm trying to say here. So now we can take it off the screen, okay?
Thank you. All right, we got the chat moderator live in on the screen and behind the screen, I guess. Well, Nick, what's the next chat we should put up? Obviously, we got to run it by you.
There you go.
Perfect. There we go. LOL. That's your middle name. LOL.
Anyway,
what else you got?
I want to hear a little bit more about Derek White. The man shot super efficiently tonight. I think did he finish with 14 points? Maybe
15.
more?
15. Yeah. 6 of 8 from the field, 15 points. Mike Gorman had a little quote. He basically said, if Derek White gives you 15 points, I don't know, I'm not quoting him exactly, but he basically said the Celtics are going to win that game.
Yeah, you shouldn't lose a game where Derek White's giving you 15 points. But beyond that, I mean, he even had, somewhat of a game-sealing defensive play. I think it was a block, that last block on that last drive to the basket for the Clippers. I could be
Al
mistaken,
had a great block.
Al too.
That was Al and Morris, but yeah, White had one as well.
White had one as well. I think it was a gang up block with him and Tatum blocking either PG or Kawhi. But regardless, was very pleased to see Derek White be an effective and an efficient scorer. From all levels, from the painted area and from the mid-range position. And in that first half, the Celtics were living in the mid-range, which was good to see. I like games where we get a little bit of we get a chance to see some mid-range play. And the Celtics did a really good job of that in the first half. I heard Scal on the broadcast highlighting that as well. But overall, just as you said, Jimmy, when Derek White's giving you 15, that's not a game you should lose.
That's a Gorman quote. I don't want to take it from him. I'm just paraphrasing his quote, but
Gorman.
That's not saying anything bad about Derek White. It's saying he's a great impact.
It's saying he's important, obviously, to the team, and I think you need to expect. I think you need to expect 10 plus points out of Derek White, though. I mean, they did make a significant trade for the guy, and the way he came out this season, you're like, okay, this is the Derek White that the Celtics traded for. This is the guy that everyone was telling me about. Now I can see it. And then he's been in a little bit of a slump, gets the haircut, and all of a sudden, look good, feel good, play good. That's a real thing. So if it was me, I'd cut the whole thing off. But Derek's gonna take his time and get there. So glad that he got the cut. The shots are starting to fall a little bit more. He's looking a little bit more aggressive, as Guy pointed out, not just on offense but defensively. I mean, that's kind of what he's known for first, obviously, is his defense. So certainly the points are a bonus, I think, when you have him out there. But you like to see those shots fall, especially those outside shots. 2 of 4 from 3 tonight. So that's definitely the type of a stat line that you want. And this was important also because you had no Brogdon tonight. So those points have to come from somewhere. We talked on this last show how Brogdon's kind of almost like your third scorer on this team. So losing him, especially against a good team like the Clippers, that's a huge loss. So shout out Derek White coming up huge tonight, 15 points in that starting lineup. Again, you had 29 from Brown and Tatum apiece. We haven't talked about Marcus Smart yet, but I should take that back. We talked about his big steal, but this guy, 17 points for them tonight, 7 of 15 from the field. If you told John Zannis that Smart took 15 shots, he would have marked a big fat L on the schedule there, just assuming that they took this L. But Smart 7 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. Again, we've been over the 3-point shooting tonight. It wasn't great. but Smart did what he needed to do. He facilitated when he needed to. He made some really nice defensive stops, and along with Derek White, that's some pretty damn good guard production. 32 points combined from those two guys. So,
Marcus
shout out to
was
the backcourt.
Yeah, Marcus was just energy. It was Marcus. I mean, he did exactly what you want him to do. Tonight, the shots were falling, and some timely ones, too. I mean, he hit that big one, I think, with the shot clock winding down to the third.
Yep.
Kept it close. And his hands are on so many plays offensively. If he's not getting the assist, he has definitely had something to do with the play, especially when it's not just jacking a three. So, and the other side of that is you really, again, I keep harping on it, but in that second quarter, you got to see the Smart Williams influence or impact on the defense. And, man, it really, really, really rattled the Clippers. They were turning the ball over again, dominating the offensive glass, diving for loose balls. It was just that scrappy Bulldog defense. I don't know that it was a switching defense you'd see with Ime, but it reminded me, Jimmy, of the Stevens, junkyard dog defense days. Like, they were just all over, mopping up the floor for loose balls. That's what you need to see from a team, especially heading into the playoffs. So we hope this continues. What are you laughing at, Jimmy?
That comment. They asked me why I'm being so mean to you. I don't think they've seen
He's
mean.
always
if
mean
they think
to
that's
me.
mean, oh my gosh.
You guys think I have rage? You should see Jimmy. Me and him would have ginormous screaming matches in the so while setting up. We'd be yelling at each other at the Garden. It's all
It'd be
part
like
of the show.
midnight at that point. Yeah, this was before we went live. On the show.
Yeah, maybe 1 a.m. on a playoff game. We'd be like 1 a.m. Still can't think of a segment.
Nick, is Marcus Smart an all-star? Here's a comment. If Marcus Smart was at 100%, he's an all-star.
Yeah,
Guy, you can answer this one too, obviously. What do you guys think? I've already answered it, so.
I've answered it too. We both have too.
I mean,
fourth quarter,
I'll take a crack
you
at it. Why not? We were talking about this earlier, Jimmy, before you got on, but he should be. I mean, in my opinion, regardless if he's 100% or not.
Okay.
The only reason I say that is
State your case.
Let me state my case. My case is not backed by numbers. Let's start there.
Okay.
That he's not an all-star. That's how they pick him.
Then you got an uphill battle, my friend, but go for it.
Let's see if we could do this.
This is Shark Tank.
Yeah. So there I mean, I don't want to say every team, but a lot of teams have guys that affect games off of the score sheet. And Marcus does that to the 10th degree. He has his hands on every single play, and it's for better or worse. He may make 5 plays that hurt the Celtics.
Is this a best man speech right now? It sounds like a best man speech.
Jimmy,
Get
I
your
actually
champagne glass.
Jimmy, I have a couple of weddings. These are the first.
He would die for you.
My first couple of friends are getting married next year, so I have to practice. I'm hoping I get asked to be a best man. We'll see.
Believe it or not, I've been in that role. Believe it or not, I know. Can you believe that? But if you
So
need some tips,
Never.
We'll have to grab coffee, and you'll have to read my my speech.
Right.
But anyway, no, he's just my thesis is basically that defense is not glamorized. It's not sexy to the viewer, but it's. I mean, there's a saying that defense wins championships, right? So, and I think that if you take Marcus Smart off of the Celtics roster, you don't even have a top 4 seed in the East, in my opinion. I think he's that important. I think he's that special, and I think he's that unique. And for a guy to win Defensive Player of the Year and to not have an all-star under his belt, I think is – I don't want to say it's wrong, but in this case, I think it's wrong.
Wow. Okay.
I noticed Jimmy's very territorial.
And
over
for that
placement
reason,
of comments.
And wait, Nick, are you gonna comment on his take or on his pitch? That was his pitch.
I didn't listen to any of it.
You're
after,
Shark Tank.
Jimmy, after the whole, I'm not gonna show up in the box. It's not gonna show up in the box score of the stats. I just stopped listening.
And
so
for that
pretty much,
reason,
I'll give you my take.
I'm out.
I'll give you my take. My take is Marcus should be, Marcus won't be. and he'll probably be remembered like one of those guys who was the victim of having too many stars on his team. He doesn't fill the box score enough, so people aren't going to vote for him. I mean, it's what Celtics fans would all day, but I think as it gets to the coaches and when we're beyond the fan vote, they're really going to look at I think your stats and then wins and losses, and unfortunately, all Marcus's goodness, most of it is not really in the box score. A good
Yeah,
portion
listen,
of it.
I think, and I've said this before, he's Celtics fans all-star and MVP. And if you watch the Celtics over the last 8 years or however many it's been, you understand his worth. His style of play isn't going to shine in an all-star game. It's not one of those types of games, really. Can he help you win? Yeah, probably, but I have a feeling he most likely wouldn't be in the game late in that situation. I think it's going to be scores. It's that type of a game. I think there's so much talent in the NBA right now that you kind of need to spread it out amongst the, what is it, 15 teams in the East. To put three guys from the Celtics on it might be a little much. That isn't to say he's
They've
not
done
going to
it
get his,
before.
I know they've done it before, but I just don't know if it warrants it this time around. Even though the Celtics are going to possibly go with the best record in the East, I just think based on style of play, talent around the league, I don't think Marcus Smart probably gets the recognition in the All-Star game. I think he's going to get it, obviously, at the end of the year when it's, first team all defense and possibly, obviously he's reigning defensive player of the year and all that jazz. So that's probably when he's going to get his shine. But you know what, Guy? I'll give you props for giving it your best shot.
You're
giving it your best shot, man.
Jimmy, he leads the league in Tommy Awards. That's got to say something.
Yeah, that's true. You should have led with that. See, that's what you should have led with.
Who needs the All-Star game?
That's the only stat you need right there.
How's that for best man speech?
There you go.
That is damn good. That was a good touche. That was a good comeback there.
Absolutely.
I just had to sit and think for a second.
I think, and then at the end of the day,
you gotta have note cards for the speech, Guy. Remember that.
Okay.
Don't read off them, but just have them with you.
Rookie mistake. Yeah.
And then ultimately, I think it comes down to dunks and outstanding offensive plays get people on their feet at All-Star games. Diving for loose balls, it should, but maybe not so much.
Well, players aren't going to do that, nor should they. It's a freaking All-Star game. Please don't dive. You know what I mean?
I mean,
it's
really, it's a
better if Marcus Smart does
schoolyard game now. They might as well shoot for teams. It's so silly with this picking.
Well, they get captains. I'm fine with
maybe Marcus gets a chance at the 3-point contest. Maybe we get him there.
Oh God, what are you talking about?
Get
him off here. It's time for him to go.
Yeah, where's Josue?
It's past my bedtime.
He's delusional at this point, folks. No, I don't know where the hell those guys are. Josue is supposed to be here by now, but obviously he's not.
Well,
Nick, get on the horn.
You want me to? Because that usually makes him not do it. But I will.
No, I'm gonna do it right now. Ready, Josue? Question mark. See if that.
Guys, I'm that bad. They're desperately trying to get Josue on here.
No, not at all.
You can go anytime, bro.
No, guy, that's not it at all. In fact, you're welcome to stay when Josue comes. I think everybody here just kind of wants a little bit of perspective from the guys who we sent to the game today. So
yeah,
they're having a little powwow in the locker room. I haven't seen or heard from Bobby in a bit, but listen, I understand that it was a good game. They want to hear from the players. Obviously, the Clippers have a pretty cool locker room too, with a couple of all-stars and guys that people want to hear from. So I understand those guys shooting the shit, if you will, after the game. But there's work to be done, Nick, and I think the paychecks might have to come a little late this month if these guys don't get here soon. I don't know. You do have the power there.
That's what I say. I mean, I could just do them after midnight tonight.
Could just forget, right?
I could forget mysteriously.
So, anything else stand out to you guys in this one? I mean, we've kind of hit on a lot of these guys here. I mean, Nick, I'd like to get your because you're not on the show that often. I'd like to get your take on Jalen recently, and not just tonight, but over the last, let's call it, few weeks, this guy's been on a tear.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about really a great scorer. I mean, he his game is scoring. And you look at it, I've been looking at the box score and saying, like, okay, what's he contributing beyond? Well, what does he need to when you're putting in 30 points every single game as a number two guy? Tonight, his stat line looked pretty good, except for 3 turnovers versus 2 assists. So, I mean, I'm not going to badmouth Jalen because he comes up big in big games. He doesn't seem to um, slouch down when the challenge is coming, and also when his teammates are getting challenged from the opposing team. I mean, you look at Tatum and Brown; they're not fighters, clearly, meaning they don't really get into it with the opponent. But Jalen has been known to get in people's faces, so I like that too. But the main thing is, guys, I mean, how can you have a quiet 26 to 33 every single night and not be impactful? I mean,
Right.
regardless of your assist to turnover ratio, regardless of sometimes you want to bang your head off your computer or your TV screen when he's turning the ball over in traffic, or just his hands are small, so he's missing dunks that aren't two handed.
Yep.
um,
Well,
I can go on and
we'll
on
have
and on,
Bobby
but
on. We'll have Bobby on about the hand
Bobby has
size a
hand
little bit later.
measurements, yeah. But at the end of the day, the Celtics are, and we as the fan base are extremely lucky to have this guy as our number two guy. Um, Sometimes I question his decision making, but for instance, guy, in that fourth quarter, early shot situation, Celtics I think were up by 7, and he flex off a brick three. But if he made that shot, we'd all be going, look at the balls on Jalen to shoot that shot with the clock, you know. So at the end of the day, um, I wouldn't trade Jalen for anyone short of probably KD. And I would probably still make that trade.
Whoa, whoa,
Speaking
whoa,
of
whoa, whoa.
KD,
What about him? Oh,
Possible
KD.
MVP. Possible
I know. I mean,
MVP
the
case
Nets.
right now.
I think the Nets are 2 in the East right now.
Here's the thing, guys. When will Kyrie implode? Because he will. And
Don't.
the truth of the matter is, he's seasonal. If you remember when he was here, fall and spring, he was off the wall. So if he's going to go off the wall at springtime, you couldn't ask for a better time for Kyrie to blow it up.
It has to do with the where the moon is, and the astrologies and all that
Stars
stuff.
and
Yeah, stars alignment
I
and all
mean,
that stuff. No,
I
listen,
don't want to
the
get on
Nets are.
Kyrie too much.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
We're not going to. There's no reason to. Honestly, the Nets are playing extremely well right now. This is a team that Bobby is going to have to take a serious. And we haven't done an apology cam this year, but if the Nets keep it up, there's going to be a serious apology cam for Bobby. We're going to
He's
make sure
coming
we
around. It might come soon.
we're going to
'Cause
make
tonight he was
sure
like,
that we let
"You were
everybody know
right
in
about the
advance
Nets."
when it's coming, because these don't come a lot. But Bobby is in line for a serious apology game, because we knew that if the Nets could just prevent themselves from beating themselves, that they'd be a tough team. And this is what's happening. And Kevin Durant, you might not. He might annoy you. You might think that he, whether it's the burner accounts or whatever, his attitude. At the end of the day, this dude's a baller, and he just wants to play basketball, show up to the gym, be a killer, and go home. And he's doing that. And credit to him for kind of somehow being able to drown out all the drama. I mean, it's been a bit of a circus in that.
KD,
Yeah,
he
it's been a bit
single
of.
handedly. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to cut you out, but I gotta say, I agree with you. Like, so, 100%. He's not
You don't want to
solely,
cut me
but
off,
he's
but you did.
primarily responsible for this turnaround by New Jersey, and mainly because he just never stopped playing ball. Like you said, all
Hmm.
through all that chaos, he continued to play and go home and play basketball and come back, go home, play basketball. Didn't comment on any of it, didn't really get involved. And now Kyrie comes back, and, you know, the SOB is averaging 28 points a game or 30 points a game. So now you got two. It's going to be tough. They are who we had expected them to be 2 years ago. Are they better than the Celtics? No. No.
No, I mean, listen,
I agree.
I'm not saying they are, but do they have talent at the top that can hang with any team in the league, including the Celtics? Absolutely. When Durant and Kyrie are on, they're a hard tandem to beat in the NBA. I don't care who you are. And then, if Ben Simmons can figure himself out at some point, it's another guy that has shown to be, a talented player in the NBA over the years. So, they're just a team that you have to be concerned about. Now, Zannis was a guy. He's probably off the show tonight, crafting his speech on how he was right about the Nets and how he was worried about them, and he had every reason to be blah 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 all that
That's
stuff.
why he took tonight off. Yeah.
Nick called them New Jersey. Yeah, that's the Boomer and Nick. They're always going to be New Jersey.
No, that's
and Nick.
purposely done.
Yeah, they'll always be New Jersey to us. Nobody in Brooklyn even likes the Nets, so
No.
they might as well just go back to New Jersey.
Until they win something, they're Jersey.
Right. But yeah, that's a team that you have to worry. We talked about this a couple games ago. It's not just the Celtics and maybe the Bucks. You've got the Nets that are coming on strong. You've got the Sixers that are coming on really damn strong. Obviously
Sixers.
the Bucks are a team to think about.
Cleveland even.
Did you guys see?
Cleveland was the next big one, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys
there's
see Sixers on Christmas?
I did.
Harden.
Yeah, that was a impressive performance by them. I mean, listen, it's a long season. Teams are going to go through ebbs and flows. The Celtics just went through one. I think some teams had some, tough adjustments just to start the year. A team like the Sixers, for example. Nets obviously had their drama that they went through, but they're coming out of it, and it's looking like it's going to be a very competitive East, like a good 5 teams strong. So I'm not sure how much playoff positioning matters or home court, but certainly it's not going to be a walk in the park for any of these teams once the playoffs come around. So real quick, guys, before Bobby and Josue jump on, which it sounds like they're going to be here soon.
They're on their way.
We want to tell you guys about a couple of our sponsors tonight. You guys know very well our good friends at Athletic Greens, AG1, as they like to be called now, is a really cool sponsor of ours. You want to go over to athleticgreens.com/garden, and they will hook you up with a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs. Toss them in your duffel bags on your way to work or on your way to the gym with your first purchase. You want to hit athleticgreens.com/garden. Guys, we all use it. I think Nick and Guy also are subscribers.
I use it every morning. I drink it every morning.
To Athletic Green. How easy is it, guys? And honestly, and I'm not just saying this, it tastes fine. Like, it's not one of those things where you have to hold your nose and take it. I think a lot of people are worried about that. You're going to just down the hatch and off you go. 75 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, every healthy thing you can think of that is packed into this powder. It's going to help with your gut health if you're trying to get your gut right for the new year. Certainly after the last couple of weeks we've had, I think I speak for everybody when I say the diet isn't exactly where it needs to be. A lot of eggnog probably for some of you. Certainly the roast beast probably came out on Christmas Day, and there's just a lot of snacking going on. This is a weird time of year. It's like time kind of stops. No one's really working, but like everyone's just kind of like floating around and eating and drinking. So if you're looking to start your year off right, you want to create some healthy habits, head on over to athleticgreens.com/garden. Hook you up with a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs, and what they won't tell you is you'll get a phenomenal t-shirt courtesy of CLNS if you send your receipt. I think this is right. You send your receipt over to John Zannis. We'll send you a link to a form. You fill it out, and then Nick Gelso is I think he's also the shipping factory over there too. He's personally shipping. He's packaging every single box, taping them, and shipping them out his door. I think a personal note.
No,
is that
I'm
right?
not.
You include a personal note in each box, Nick. Is that true?
Autograph.
Personal. Yeah.
Boomerang. Best wishes from the Boomer.
But honestly, guys, we do appreciate you all you guys' support. We've gotten a lot of feedback from people who have tried the product and they really do like it. We've got a lot of feedback from people who have either subscribed for themselves or for somebody that they know. And it's not just us promoting this product. There's a lot of people out there who can also vouch for it and say that if you're looking to just start somewhere, don't worry about the end product. Just one step at a time. This is a good first step. Get the nutrients that you need to start your day.
I have a success story with that one. That AG1 started me, and this isn't a word of a lie, and you people may not notice it because I'm on webcam, but I am down 30 pounds. 30 pounds.
Look at you.
And the whole trend started with
AG1.
Thank you. The whole trend really did start with AG1. I squeeze a lemon in it, literally a shot, chug it down the hatch, and it got me in a routine of really starting to be conscious about what I'm eating. And over COVID, I don't know how many of you were around before COVID, but I gained 50 pounds over COVID.
Wow,
and I've
that's
since
actually
taken off
impressive, too.
30. So yeah, it's very impressive. It was hard to do. A lot of full sheet cakes I was eating, and a lot of marijuana I was
A lot of
smoking.
stress eating, Nick.
Yeah. Stress eating. And so I've taken out 30. Thank you, partially and with good credit to AG1.
Well,
So
there you
check
go.
it out, guys.
There's a real life ad right there. That's true. That's true. He's not lying. Nick, will you get up and give us a spin? No, I'm just kidding. Please don't.
You know what? I don't have any pants on, Jimmy.
Oh, true. Okay, then definitely don't, please. Oh my God, there you go. All right, so that's AG1, and then we have Rocket Money. We can't forget our friends at Rocket Money. These guys are a newer sponsor of ours, and their big thing is that if you are one of those people that just smashes that subscribe button, not just to AG1, and we want you to keep that one, but to just pretty much everything, and you kind of lose track of where your subscriptions are going, and you might not keep tabs on your statement every month, and who knows what you're paying for. Rocket Money is there to sort of reel it all in for you, get it all together, let you know, hey, this is what you're paying for this, that, and the other thing. Rocketmoney.com/garden. If you head to that link, follow the prompts, you could save hundreds on unnecessary subscriptions. And I know that this lower third is talking about subscriptions, but really Rocket Money is a lot more than just that. We only have so much time to talk about it, but basically it's a good resource if you want to get your finances right. So we just talked about your health. Help us help you guys. We're going to try to get you healthy. We're going to try to get your money right. We want you to be your best versions of yourself going into 2023. So head over to rocketmoney.com/garden.
Got a funny story here too, Joey.
Oh, let me guess, Nick. Now, Nick's a guy. Nick's got a lot of subscriptions to some, let's just say, premium accounts. He probably had to unsubscribe.
Jimmy, I had 3 subscriptions to Boston Sports Journal.
Oh no, you need to keep those. You need to keep those.
No, I deleted 2 of them. Sorry, Greg. I got rid of 2.
Why am I fuzzy right now? I'm blurry.
You are blurry. You know what? Do what I did. Just clean them. Whoa, Jimmy.
I'm just trying to reset the focus here. But
so
Nick,
yeah, I had 3.
Did you really?
I did. So I had to cancel 2, Greg. Sorry, but that's kind of funny because it's all kind of the same thing, and like 3 to the same membership site. So that was 3 BSJ, 0 athletic. 3-0.
Wow. Well,
no, I actually
there you
did
go.
have 1 athletic.
There's another great example of how it can help you. So that made its worth right there for you. So anyways, that's Rocket Money, guys. Appreciate all your support.
Jimmy?
Same deal. If you guys want to, actually, I don't know if it's the same deal for that, so I won't tell you. If it is, though, send your receipt over to Zannis, and we'll give you a free T-shirt, whether it's Rocket Money/Garden or
one thing about the T-shirts that I love, they don't shrink, guys. These shirts don't shrink. You wash them, they won't shrink. So
I wish I knew. I can't get a T-shirt. It's my own damn show, and I can't get a freaking T-shirt. I don't know what I got to do.
It's here. All you got to do is come by and get it.
Done. Say no more. Josue.
Right. Josue's here.
Is he ready, or did we jump the gun?
Guy, you got.
Oh, he's not ready. Oh, we jumped the gun. We jumped
the gun.
Nick probably did that. Did you do that, Nick?
I did not. I didn't do that. I didn't. I don't know how to bring him on.
Damn it, Nick.
Look at Tim. He took.
We're gonna blame Nick anyway. We're gonna blame Nick anyway. No, we're gonna blame Nick.
That was
it doesn't
Tim.
matter.
Guys, when John is not quarterbacking this show, it really jumps the shark.
Because you keep touching things.
It wasn't me. It was Tim.
Did you see how quickly Guy tried to bounce as soon as he saw Josue's face?
He's like, I'm out.
All right, Josue's good. All right, Tim. I'll let you do the honor since you got the trigger finger apparently over there. There he is. Wait, Josue, tell me we can hear you. Tell me we can hear you. No, we need to be able to hear you, bro.
Josue.
Talk. Use your.
Oh,
we can't hear him.
We can't hear
you.
you.
We knew it. We couldn't hear him. That's what I was worried about. That's exactly what I was worried about. We got Josue. It looks like he's in a safe. Are you in somebody's safe, dude? No wonder we can't hear him.
He's in Wick Grossbeck's
Are you okay?
safe. His walk-in safe.
Oh, well, that's why there's no money in there, I guess.
That's why it's empty.
That's why it's empty. Anyways,
get your sound, Josue.
Josue is gonna get his sound figured out, I think. Should we leave him on while he does it?
Yeah,
Watch
it's
him
funny.
struggle in real time?
Yeah. Put him on full screen.
I'm not going to do that to him. I'm going to let him try to figure it out. I'm gonna minimize him. Guy, any last thoughts? Since it sounds like you're going to be leaving us in a minute. So a lot of people are saying, who's this guy? Who's this guy? I mentioned it already.
Yeah.
Guy near everybody. Behind the scenes extraordinaire. I don't even know what we just lost, Nick. I guess you're not going anywhere, dude, because I'm not going to do this solo.
I'm buckled in, Jimmy. I won't leave you.
So real quick on Guy, I don't even know what label to give you because you do so many things. I know you run a lot of sales for us. You do social media for us. Kind of the jack of all. You're kind of the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess humble brag. I guess you can call me the brand partnerships guy. So,
Josue, give me a thumbs up when you think you're ready.
I'm bringing rocket money to you guys. Athletic Greens, Calm, Manscaped, all the advertisers you guys see. I'm working hard to provide value to the viewers. So,
good.
If there are any sponsors you guys would like to see, let me know, and I'll go chase them down for you.
There you go. Toss them up in the comments. Toss it up in the comments tonight if you guys have any sponsors where you're looking to subscribe, but you'd like to get a free T-shirt while you're at it. Toss them in the comments. Guy will get to work, and we'll make sure that he seals the deal. Always be closing, guy. It's year end, man. I'm surprised you're not pounding the keys right now. I mean, you got any quotas you got to hit by tomorrow?
No, man.
Must be nice.
We're coasting this week, man. We're coasting this week.
Give me a thumbs up. All right, he thinks he's good. Let's see. It's still pretty quiet over there, though.
Cannot hear you, Josue.
Cannot hear him. Josue, I don't know what you're doing different than you did a couple games ago, because I know you're in the same spot. So the connection's okay. It's just the audio situation is going to be figured out.
Beef jerky, huh? You guys want beef jerky? Okay.
Nick must beef. Oh, I feel like, is that a sponsor? These guys just want beef jerky. You can just go to the supermarket and get that. It's like $5.
Yeah. I'll reach out. I will reach out.
Guy, get us a sponsor that will allow us to get some cool free stuff. That would be awesome.
Yeah, man.
Josue, we still can't hear you, man. You're still giving us the 1 minute.
Is it me? Is it me, Josue?
It's not you. So here's a question. I'll pull this up right now since I'm going to kill some time here for a second. Celtics next couple games here. They go on a little road trip here. So
yeah,
Sunday,
Denver next.
Little New Year's Day game in Denver.
Yeah.
Then the OKC, Dallas, San Antonio. So a little bit of a trip here, and I think they're going on at the right time.
I mean, they got back-to-back games against potential MVPs, right? Jokic and Doncic. So it'd be nice to see Tatum. Maybe we can get a 50-pointer to start the year.
Yeah, they're not back-to-back. You get the Thunder mixed in there, but still a team that can give you trouble with SGA. Obviously, is a elite player in this league and somebody that has really come on in the last year and a half. Josue, say something. He can't say something yet, Nick. He's trying to figure out his audio. Nick, can you say something? Are you there? Is your audio working? Okay.
I am here.
He's good.
Do we?
I'm gonna let Josue. I'm gonna let Josue. Okay, I'm gonna sub out Josue out. Bobby Manning. I'm gonna bring you in, bro. But if your audio is out, I'm just going to end this stream immediately. Hit me, Bobby. Hit me.
Hey, what's up?
There he is, folks. Bobby Manning in the building.
Bobby.
How we doing,
Great
Bob?
game, great win tonight. Good way to wrap the homestand here against a really tough team. I think the Clippers play the Celtics just about as well as anyone in terms of both ends of the floor.
This is just mean. Go ahead.
So
I'm sorry to cut you off.
this is impressive. I mean, they lost by 20 last time they played this team, and good to get Rob and Horford back in the lineup. They weren't there last time. Happy New Year.
Nice.
So
who's that?
Bobby, greetings.
Our good friend Christian in PR.
Oh,
Bobby's got fans everywhere, Jimmy.
Hey, Christian, bring him on.
Happy New Year.
No, he's out of here. The presser's wrapped in record time tonight. Everybody's thrilled. Happy New Year.
Did Jason go already?
No, he didn't go tonight. Jalen went in smart. But lots of talk, and I think there's been a theme throughout the week. Of course, we're asking the questions, but a lot of talk about how smart Brown, Tatum, this whole collective has come together, especially from Damon Stoudemire, who obviously had a front row seat to that whole debacle about a year ago. A year ago, actually, this team shot 9% against the Clippers from three and just had another one of those meltdown losses. And Damon was saying that he heard all the talk about Brown, Tatum, issues between them, inability to play together, all the different stuff we kicked around about a year ago. And he got in there and just said, once he met both of them, particularly Jason, who he really made a point of calling out for just how humble he is and how like low maintenance he is compared to, he was recruiting young guys in college and he's known a lot of the stars around the league from being at Memphis. And he said Tatum's kind of unique in terms of his demeanor, how he goes about things. I think pointing out how often he plays, how often he practices. And think about that in comparison to this Clippers team, who just never play. You know, Kawhi, George, it's load management central out there. And you see it in this game, just how in sync Celtics are. Clippers still trying to figure some stuff out. And, you know, this is a close game on paper, but the Celtics really blew them away in the first half. And I thought just got in full control early and flexed their muscle after a rough third quarter and had a great closing quarter there.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like one of those back and forth type games. You know, what did you think of just that fourth quarter? I mean, you mentioned the closing there, but you know, Smart sort of with that big play, that nice steal. Did he say anything about? It looked like on the broadcast they were talking about his hip. Did you hear or see anything about that?
Nothing about that. But great play. I thought White had two awesome plays down the stretch there, the and one and the pass to Grant. Him getting aggressive was super important. I thought he had 15, I think. And obviously Rob, I thought
nice, Nick.
was as good as every single game. I feel like Rob just gets better. And they were pretty dominant in his minutes tonight. It doesn't really show in the plus minus, but I felt like they were just exceptional when he was on the court. And they look to him way more often than they usually do. He gets 4 shots in this one, 12 points, 21 minutes, plus 8, which was actually pretty high up on the team. Second, third to only Grant Smart.
Bobby, how great was it to see that starting lineup back in that second?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that was the first time they had played. And I think someone in the presser pointed out that the Clippers shot 36% against that unit. So we've been talking about this. This is actually a good topic. Joe's talked about maybe leaving Rob on the bench. I actually talked to both Derek and Rob tonight about that. Rob's fine coming off the bench. He doesn't really care. And White's fine with whatever they go with, too. Those are two pretty amicable guys. So it's going to come down to the coach in terms of what he wants to do there. And I don't know, Josue and I did a segment after last game about this, but I want to see that group back together. That was the best lineup in the NBA last year. And then, like you said, Nick, they come together tonight and play great in that second quarter. And I don't know what they're waiting for. Rob says he feels fine. Damon's like, oh, we want to make sure he's comfortable before we ramp up his minutes here. But no negative ill effects so far, no setbacks, maybe a little fatigue. That's all Rob's talked about through these minutes. I don't know, sometime on this road trip, maybe you pull it out against a good matchup for it to go against. I know it's good to balance out the bigs, but that was just a dominant lineup a year ago.
Bobby, do you think it's a front office initiative to limit Rob's minutes? Because, I mean, without skipping a beat, whoa, my lights just went up. Without skipping a beat, and no real previous discussion, because it happened so quick against who was the last game? Houston.
Yeah.
Stoudemire comes in, and the minutes were the same. I think they were 21 minutes or 22 minutes tonight. 21 minutes. It's falling right in line with Joe. Do you think it's a front office thing, or do you think it's a Rob thing, or do you think it's a Joe thing?
I think it's a Rob thing, because every time we've asked Joe and Damon about it, they point to his comfort, and that was sort of part of his return too. They brought him on that West Coast trip. He didn't play, even though it seemed like he was planning to come back during that stretch. And then he's pretty limited in the early stretches that he's coming back. But you don't hear about any pain. You don't hear about any minute restriction specifically from the medical staff.
He looked
and
great
again,
tonight.
Damon tonight saying that, you know, they want to make sure he's comfortable. And again, he didn't bring that up when I talked to him, but I can't think of anything else that's holding him back if it's none of those things that you mentioned there. I don't think it's front office. I don't think it's medical. It's probably just about getting the win back right now. And I'll give time. I'll give time for that. But, again, Ime last year, we talked about this last game.
Ime ran him.
He ran him 30 minutes a game. First night, I'll never forget it. Opening night, he goes 44
40
minutes. It
minutes.
didn't seem like that was possible, but he did it, and he was fine. So I think they need to push him a little bit, and this is kind of one of the differences
I
we're
agree
seeing
with you.
between an Ime and a Joe. Is Joe's more that player's guy, and if Rob wants to come out after a 10-minute, 7-minute stretch, maybe they roll with that, and then they keep him out a little longer there. I don't know. It was the Brad thing, too. Remember, that was the theme of the 2021 postgame show. Why doesn't Rob play more? And we're still trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm okay with Rob playing, low 20s if that's where he's going to be right now.
If they're winning.
Clearly, but clearly, when he came back and played the amount that he did, something flared up. Something wasn't completely right. We all know he had to go back under the knife again, and they don't want that situation to happen again. Certainly
Fair
not.
point.
Certainly not in these regular season games when they need him most, a few months from now. So if he's in the low 20s, for the next however many games you want him to be in there, that's fine. And I don't get hung up on whether or not he starts. I want his minutes to creep up. I want him to be playing mid to upper 20s, by the end of this thing. I think that's where everybody wants to see him at. Obviously, we know that they're thin at that position. No offense to Luke Cornett, obviously not with his brother-in-law.
Oh, no. Why'd you bring it up?
Right now. No, I'm just
brother-in-law.
Well, it's potential future brother-in-law, but that's. But point being, they are thin at that position. I think there is going to be a buyout candidate that might be available. Again, that's not until when that time comes. And when is that deadline, Bobby?
That's a March one, I think.
Yeah, so we're a ways away, but they need to get there. And typically there's not really a big cream in the crop of guys that are available, but I do think the Celtics will be a destination for, if there's one or two veterans that are still serviceable and are looking for that ring, Boston's a perfect destination for them. They're going to have a roster spot available to make that happen, but they need to get there. Now, they don't want to be throwing Rob in 35 minutes a game and wear him out. I do think that wind is an issue, or was an issue with him when he came back. I don't think it was in game shape form, and that could be part of it why they're slowly ramping him back up here. But yeah, to you guys' point, Ime would have just tossed him out there and say, "Suck it up, kid. This is the NBA. You show up ready to play." I think Joe's a little bit more reserved in that style. So this is kind of what you're seeing.
Well, someone did ask Joe. Presumably Rob's going to be going back to the starting lineup, and Joe was kind of like, "Is he?" Like he was kind of like, "Don't assume anything."
I'm not listening. I got to jump in here. Can you honestly take anything Joe Mazzulla says seriously?
Well, he didn't say anything definitively.
Why not, Nick? What does that mean?
I mean, I don't dislike Joe Mazzulla, but a Joe Mazzulla press conference is a waste of payroll dollars.
You don't think he
for
says
my
anything?
employees. He doesn't say a word. And what he does say is to a degree, condescending. I mean, like, when you're going to say, after one of the worst losses of the season, I think they played well. They played well.
Great.
Like, that's great. That's insulting your own beat media, in my estimation. Don't give an answer at all before you say they played great. And I really didn't like, and I'm has nothing to do with whether I like the royal family or not, but the whole Jesus, Mary, and Joseph
I like
thing,
that comment. I like that.
I found that to be, really insulting. I don't dislike Joe. I like him a lot. The gum chewing annoys the hell out of me. The lack of timeouts annoy the hell out of me.
Doesn't sound like Nick likes him.
The fact that the team pretty much coaches themselves at times annoys the hell out of me. But overall, you can't knock a guy who inherited this mess from Ime Udoka's extracurricular activities and have the team come out and win the streak they did. So he must be doing something right. So I can't say I dislike Joe Mazzulla as a coach, but a Joe Mazzulla press conference is like putting the television on a channel that doesn't run anymore and just having white noise. Boomer rage loading.
Yeah, easy, buddy. Easy. Sorry, he's not your quote machine. He's not giving you the content that you want on your for your company here.
Woosah, Nick. Woosah.
Yeah,
There's a balance.
They gotta win.
There's a balance.
They gotta win.
I think there's a balance between giving this team what they want and what they need, and hopefully there's other guys on the staff who have the relationships down the line to give them what they need at times. I thought things got a little turbulent during that losing streak recently, but they righted the ship fairly easily and found other ways to win too, which I thought was impressive. Like, they've reacted in certain ways to weaknesses and strategically. Again, I keep telling the story that he comes to the games at 11 a.m. I mean, this guy just, in terms of
a hard worker,
strategy,
right?
yeah, and working hard and things you expect from him out of his job, you couldn't have done better. And his character too, they boast about like crazy. But in terms of decision
come on,
making,
he's Bill Belichick without a championship. I mean, he answers questions like Bill.
Well, he's
Bill
got
could
time.
do that.
What if he gets a ring?
I mean,
would you stop talking then?
I'm not bad mouthing him. I just think like
Josue. I mean,
we don't know,
the answer
right?
is no.
We don't know.
Stop talking.
I think the only
don't
assessment
know.
you can come to with Joe so far is we don't know. And you go off the record so far and say he's done a great job, no matter what the percentage is. And sometimes the job of the coach today's NBA is just to not screw it up. And I don't think he's screwed up much. He's like 1,000,000% on his challenges. The timeout thing you can go back and forth on. Everybody you ask on the team says they like it and they want that approach. But that goes back to what they want versus what they need. We'll figure that out over time. But I don't know. I do the back and forth in the pressers, Nick, I agree at times on. But he's also had
Bobby,
some
you know how much I rely on the pressers. I mean, I put a lot into it.
Don't you want to see some adversity? Don't you want to see the Celtics go through some
just
right? And Joe,
I mean, starting the year, that kind of adversity is tough to match. Losing Ime, losing Rob for the months
and
that they did.
And the response is why I respect Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah. So I think you give him B+, A-.
Yeah. I mean, listen. There's really not. I mean, you can criticize some of the in-game stuff, and we talked about it. I think me and John talked about it.
Then it's definitive if you and John talked about it.
Right. Well, that was where I was going with it. But
the Jimmy John podcast.
Yeah.
Coming soon. Yeah, absolutely. There are some things you can, if you want to talk about the timeouts or lack thereof, that's fine. I think there's been some games where he's been a little slow to make rotation changes. Bringing in certain guys that could maybe add a spark. Not even joking.
Well, let's go back to Christmas Day. He throws Blake in there against Giannis. I don't think he got enough credit for that.
Yeah, that's a
gives
really
him
good
like 5-6 great minutes, and
he talked after the
game. He talked after the game that Blake knows Giannis. He guarded him for that 7-game battle, that series that I think is the best I've ever seen. Bucks Nets a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a great series.
And Blake did a great job again. They've had Smart guarding some big men tonight, even against Zubac. Like there's some, even all the off-ball actions and stuff. I did ask him like how he made his own imprint on this team. And again, he steers clear of really giving himself credit for anything. But he said some offensive stuff, and I've even heard like there is a lot of offensive stuff he wanted to implement last year that he went hard in terms of implementing during training camp. And you see it. They look different. They play different. And Rob's talked about it. It's a much faster pace this year. A lot more actions and movement away from the ball. And they've gotten back to that recently.
When you're talking about basketball, I got to say, I take it back. I'm already giving you an apology, Cam, because their style of play I love. I hate live or die with the 3, but I love the pace.
I do have questions about that, too.
Here's what I said about that, Bobby, not to bring up the team, not comparison, contrast, because the chat will explode again. But this whole live or die with the 3 thing, I think that what can separate them, and you saw it tonight because they shot so poorly from 3, if they can pick up and play effing elite defense when their 3s are not falling, they will get transition baskets. They will still control the pace, and they will still keep it close enough to, because at some point, a great shooting team like Boston, once they find the ability to stop runs when they're not hitting shots, hitting 3s, I think they're going to find a patch in a game where they could splash it out and put separation or close the gap. It's just a matter of finding a way not to fall off the cliff when your 3s aren't falling. And tonight they did that.
The transition game. They've gone back to it.
So huge.
I think I just heard a Josue voice. His audio is back, baby. Let's do it.
To piggyback on Nick's point, though, how about when the team that scored, was it 7 3-pointers in the first half, they do that in one quarter alone. and the Celtics
Yeah.
still had that mental toughness to keep
Yes.
up and not fall too far behind. Sure, they did blow the lead, but
That-
they pulled ahead. Those last couple of minutes, the Clippers made it interesting, but they had enough of a cushion to protect that lead. And I think a lot of that has to do with mental toughness. I think a lot of that has to do with them
Josue,
just going
if
through other games where they blew the lead and they were unable to come back, or the defense slid so far behind that it turned into a double-digit deficit. But that wasn't the case tonight.
if that was 2 years ago or even last year at the beginning of the season, tonight would have been a
Oh
loss.
yeah, because they would start going to desperation mode. They start chucking threes.
Yep.
No more
Hero
passing.
ball. Hero
Exactly.
ball.
Exactly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They win tonight shooting 28% from three. That's got to
That's
be
right.
a low and a win for the year.
But Bobby, that's probably the most impressive when factoring that in because of their past when they can't shoot when they miss threes.
And the fact that this team, again, beat them by 20 a couple weeks ago. And I talked with Smart this morning. Like, he had a great game plan in his head in terms of getting the ball ahead, and he was just phenomenal in this game. Jimmy talked about the defensive play late, but the go-ahead passes, some of the finishes getting downhill. At one play, he just beat the entire Clippers team down the court, and I asked him after the game, like, about how he fits in the way the team's playing now a year later after it was such a debacle. And he's saying a lot of nights he just tries to bring Brown and Tatum along for the ride in transition if the pace just isn't there. Like, he's just going to rush them up the floor, and sometimes he'll take it himself. I think he's had a great year at the rim. This month for him has just been brilliant. He's back to himself. I think he looks like he's in better shape. John's talked about that before, him kind of playing himself into shape to start the year. I don't think he was super healthy to start the year either, but Smart, what more can you say? I mean, this guy is just incredible to watch at this point. He gives them everything they need, which, again, talking about the things that have changed for Brown and Tatum, even a year ago for Smart, there were still so many games you'd look at and just say, like, oh, just cut back the shots, cut back the bad decisions, doing too much. And you know who does deserve a lot of credit for that is Damon Stoudemire, who took over this head coach the last couple of games. I think he has really been in his ear. I think he's been tough with the turnovers and the wacky plays over the last year or so here, like just getting on him about those, but also allowing him to play free and with the ball in his hands. And again, I said it when he assumed this role. He's just such a good, I think he's as good of a passer as any point guard in the league. He just needed the opportunity.
Right.
Early in his career, and Josue would probably remember this too, he used to pass more, and he was a good playmaker then, and then he went away from it. Yeah. The thing about Marcus, too, is I think that he has seen that he can impact winning almost more by being a facilitator and a three-point shooter in open situations based on the fact that, that he could create shots. So, I think Marcus, I don't want to say he's an attention guy because he's not. He's a winning guy. But he also likes to, I think, have his footprint or his fingerprint on a win. And I think that he's seen that passing, being a playmaker on a team with these guys, can really put him as the number 2 most important guy on the team, because you've seen how the team plays without Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum.
You guys, Nick, real quick, Josue, before you continue, we're gonna say bye to our good friend Guy. Guy wants to hit the road.
Oh,
Guy's gonna make some sales for us.
Thanks for holding it down.
Guy, you got some homework. You're gonna have to check out the chat later. If you guys are in the chat and
our fans would love beef jerky. They would.
Beef jerky. That's my next. That's my mission for 2023.
Speaking of we should find a local
17
beef jerky
years
company.
Old. Beef jerky, jeez.
Bro, that's a healthy snack. Okay.
Speaking of jerky, they want to eat some jerky. Take their AG1.
I was gonna say, you're gonna wash that down with some AG. Wash that down with some AG1.
There you go.
Get calm later on in the evening.
We are providing the lifespan of a purchase for these audience members.
That's right. So thank you guys for having me.
Guys.
Ahmed actually has a great request. He wants you to get a Wi-Fi sponsor for Josue. If you could do that too, that'd be great.
I'll get some sort of Wi-Fi sponsor. We'll do our best.
I gotta say, I have.
All right, thanks, Guy. We'll see you, dude.
Bye, Guy.
We'll have you back on next year, bro.
Yeah, Guy.
Next year it is.
After. Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, Josue, I have noticed a great improvement in your Wi-Fi, especially when you're home.
Stop.
No, I'm not kidding.
Don't pander.
I'm not kidding.
The best way to talk about it is to not talk about it. Exactly. Don't patronize me. No, let's get back to what I was saying about Marcus.
Smart.
Actually, you know what you were saying about Marcus, Nick, because you bring up a really good point, and I think we talked about this briefly last season during the dark years, right, or the dark couple of months
The
of
dark
that season,
year.
where we forget that Marcus had a top 5 score first point guard, leading the team throughout those 6-7 years that span, whether it was Isaiah Thomas, whether it was Kemba Walker, whether it was Kyrie Irving. I mean, so I think that adjustment was a bit awkward in the sense of him knowing that he could be that point guard, but he had to get out of a lot of those bad habits. He had to sort of evolve into the point guard that this team wanted him to be. But Damon Stoudemire had a lot to do with that. I mean, let's not forget he was on this team last year as well. So I think that also kind of goes hand in hand to what you were saying, Nick. The last couple of games where all these guys want to obviously win for Damon, but I think that connection between those two, you're seeing that it was highlighted in a big way in this matchup against the Clippers, man. And Marcus was just doing a little bit of everything, and that's the kind of Marcus that just makes things so much easier for the other guys. And you see the difference when he's not out there. I mean, throughout this homestand, we saw what this team looks like without Marcus. It's just a different team.
To the point on that staff too, they all stuck around. Damon, Ben, all those guys, they're all Ime friends. I'm sure they were as confused as anybody about the suspension. But Tatum was talking the other day when Damon stepped in about how it brought them closer. Like he felt like this staff got even closer than they were a year ago through that experience. And who knows what's going to happen long term here. Ty Lue said pregame that Damon should be a head coach in this league. I'm sure he has aspirations to do that. And success, you're going to lose assistants. They're going to get opportunities. But Joe's going to get a chance in the long term if he makes it through here to build his own staff and kind of make this situation his own. And I think you feel good about that. They still haven't removed that interim tag for him, which
they can't, guys.
I don't have a good feel. Yeah, I don't think they can, but
they can't.
It feels like, by all accounts, they are committed to Missoula, and it's just kind of a semantics thing.
Bobby, during the practice report that Brad suddenly showed up, the one where it was kind of great. He had Missoula's back, clearly there to have his back. But I don't know if it was you or who asked. I think maybe Washburn. When will the interim tag come off? And Brad said, "I'm not even going there." That just tells you the legal proceedings are still going on, and interim has to stay, or else officially, Ime is fired and then has to get paid. You see what I'm saying? So that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, he has to be careful with his language there.
Really, everything he says. Yeah.
Josue, you talked a little bit about Marcus. What else stood out to you in this game as somebody's phone goes off? Real professional.
Hey.
Should I answer it or what?
I've been there before. Just let him know he's on air, though.
Answer it.
I know.
You might say something wild.
Say, Max, I'm on the postgame show right now. Do you want to comment?
He's like,
hey, do I want to comment on what?
The game?
Max, we can hear you. We can hear you, so be careful what you say. Hang up.
And that was Cedric Maxwell.
Did you
actually? No, it wasn't.
No, we didn't hear anything.
That was not Cedric.
For everyone tuning in live, you're never gonna hear that part of the show again. So,
Josue, take us through something else that stood out to you in this game, please.
Just the overall resilience, man, of this team. Again, the Clippers made it interesting. It turned into a 3-point game, and it got kind of quiet in the Garden for a second. But they kept their composure, and that's exactly what Damon Stoudemire told us after the game about how they were able to keep their composure, throughout that third quarter where Clippers scored 7. They drained 7 3-pointers. They scored what? It was like 4 or 5 points in like 2 minutes. And he said that he just called a timeout for everyone to just take a breather and just take a second to gather themselves and figure out what they were going to do differently out there. And then that's what they did. They made adjustments and they were able to string together stops. And again, I think it's a testament to where this team is mentally. And that last matchup against the Clippers, I mean, it just seems like a different team in the sense of they're not going to let a team just go out there and beat them quarter after quarter after quarter. I mean, that's exactly what happened the last time these two teams met. The Clippers got their, outscore them 1 through 4, and at the end they were the ones with enough of a lead to put away the Celtics. But this time it was the other way around. And people can say, things could have got a lot worse in that last couple of minutes. But sure, I mean that's true. But again, to keep yourselves in front, that thin margin of error, like I think that's huge for these guys because they're gonna need to to have these type of experiences to put forth, the right effort in other situations like that, whether it's the playoffs or whether it's just a really meaningful game between two really good teams. And that's exactly what it was.
Only other thought I have.
Facts, my dog.
I hope that made everyone forget about Max for a second.
Only other thought I have at tonight, and I'm sure
Jimmy goes, "Why would you repeat it?"
Oh God.
Hey, Josue.
Nick. We're moving on. We're moving on. Completely.
Cornbread's on the phone here. He wants to talk to you guys.
All right.
We'll have him on.
Put him in or no?
You put the filter on him? You got a filter on?
Yeah, he's got the filter. So here he is. I'm just going to put the mic up there.
Looking
Max.
good.
Hey, what up, Max?
I hope this isn't the last Celtics postgame show.
Could you guys hear him?
You're on with Jimmy, Bobby, and Josue, and your good friend Nick Gelso.
Nick, back up the phone a bit.
Can they hear me?
Yeah, they
Such
can
a
hear
boomer
you,
thing.
Max.
Yeah, we can hear you.
What do you got on the game? You want to be on? Hang on, I'm going to
Give
text
us a hot.
you the link.
Just give us one hot take, Mac.
Now forget to talk so I can just talk.
All right, well, Max, I'm going to text you the link. He wants to come on, guys.
No.
Oh, he wants to see himself.
Oh, he wants to actually come on?
I'll text
sure
you the
it's
link
close
in
up.
2 minutes, Max, okay? All right, bye.
The concern on Jimmy's face.
What's going on,
Jimmy,
Nick?
you're
Nick,
gonna
you got another. I guess we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it going then.
We got to
Max
keep
is
it
going
coming
all
for
night.
Max. He's like in his suit and everything.
Oh no, we'll keep it on for Max, of course.
Nobody has.
You know what it is? It's the New Year vibe. Everyone knows this is it for a few days.
That's right. I need to figure out how I send him the link here. How do I do that?
Oh God, dude.
Oh, I got it.
You
I got
gotta
it.
do it.
Quick.
You gotta do it.
Quick
These guys-
Max. Quick Max point.
Yep.
What a
we'll get him.
Christmas suit. Oh
Hang
my
on.
God, it was incredible.
His Christmas
I'll
suit.
send
Yeah.
him one too.
Oh, you send him the link, Josue, please.
I think it was in our
Text him the
video from
link.
that day. We did like inside Christmas video.
I wish we took a picture together. We were both looking good.
Yeah.
You had the same suit on, Josue, almost. It was
different
sharp.
colors. Different colors.
I'm going to tell
but
him
yeah.
you're sending it.
It wasn't almost, all right? So I forget who it was, but someone was like, did Max get you that suit? I was like, no, he did not.
It was sort of the Max pattern. Yeah. I don't know.
You know what?
I was whatever.
I can't wear a plaid suit now.
That's what we
bet-
need. We need a sponsor of like a suit company. You know what I mean? Like a fashion clothing designer.
Yeah,
Everyone
we've been
gets-
working on that where they've
everyone gets
clothed
some
us.
suits.
I would love that.
Well,
as
whether or
much
not
as
they
anyone.
do or not, doesn't no one has to know. But we would certainly.
Anyone
promote
selling
the product.
turtlenecks?
Yo,
That would be a great
Turtlenecks.
promotion.
I told
Yeah,
Bobby
me
the
too.
other day I was shopping and
You going on now?
I can't even think about
Bobby,
buying
what
a
are you
turtleneck.
wearing right now? I
That's
can't tell
Bobby's
because
thing.
there's
It's
a.
like his logo.
Is there a collar coming out of the turtleneck?
Yeah. No, that's not a turtleneck. It's just a sweater.
Oh, it's a sweater with kind of like a turtleneck aspect to it, though.
That's his neck.
That's inspired
That's
to be.
just-
You
yeah,
got-
that's just
That's
my
his
neck.
neck.
I'll be honest. I don't think that button down belongs there. I don't know if those flaps should be sticking out from behind the turtleneck.
Tuck 'em in.
We'll work on that. We'll work on that. We'll work on that for the next game. Josue, will you help him out, please?
Can
I
I
got you.
can I-
Bob. I'll make sure you look good for the report.
Should we
Can
talk
I
about the game?
can I squeeze in?
We've been talking about the game. Yeah, Bobby,
gonna-
please. You have the floor.
I'm gonna squeeze in one more point on the game.
What's up?
Jalen was just incredible tonight, and you know what? We bash him a lot. We're tough on him. When he's as lethal as he's been, I mean, he's
Yeah.
scored 20
No,
points.
We're tough on him though. Don't say bash. That's different. But yeah, we are tough.
Jimmy's sweating bullets.
When he scores 20 points in 26 of his last 27, I'm not even sure if Tatum's done that. Like the consistency's been astounding from a efficiency standpoint and even a scoring standpoint. You got to give him a lot of credit right now for where they're at. He is as tough of a shot maker right now as anyone in the league. And in fact, he's second to only Kevin Durant in mid-range shooting. So I thought he was the most important guy tonight when it came to cracking that Clippers defense, which is a top 10 defense.
Max in the building. Can you hear us, Max?
I'm in the house. I hear you.
Hey,
Yes.
my podcast partner.
Cornbread himself joining the party. A little special guest for everybody staying up late with us tonight.
Look
Celtics
what he
take a big W over the Clippers, 116-110. Our guy Cedric Maxwell was on the call.
Max
You
got
gotta follow
he
him.
He got New Year's Eve party vibes right now with the tie.
Oh, yeah,
he's
big
looking-
time.
oh,
Big
yeah, he's ready.
time.
He
Happy
looks
New
like-
Year, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Where's the
How was the
disco
party?
at? Where
Yeah, how was
this?
the party?
Max, what's your Twitter
Man,
handle? Where can we
y'all
follow you,
let-
Nick? What?
Let's just skip by the one day for. We hadn't even got to New Year's. Let's talk about
I feel you,
what it
Max.
was tonight. I mean, they played extremely well. Some mistakes early on. They're going to be, a little question. I think they were really good. Pritchard has kind of fallen off opportunity tonight, but who really has been good, and I know people don't want to talk about, been brilliant. I mean, he's been a facilitator. He's said that White had about 3 block shots tonight, probably one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Big one late too.
Against coming in. So there were a lot of very positive messages Celtics did, and even the way they rebounded the ball. They've gotten a lot more physical. I like that. 1,000 times. The one thing that happened when the Christmas Day game and made me happy was when.
Oh no!
What
We
made him
never
happy?
know.
Wait, what made
It
him
always
happy?
does it right at this point.
Wait,
Ah,
we
I
gotta
know
know
the
what made him
answer.
happy.
I know the answer too.
Well,
You
will
know
you
the
finish
answer?
it for him?
Do you think we can get him back? All right, maybe he'll try to. Oh, here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. He's looking good now.
He's back.
Tell him, tell him.
Max, what
Tell him,
was the
Max.
one thing that made you happy, Max? You cut out right at that
the
point.
one thing that made me happy was when Jalen on Christmas, when Jalen by Giannis, and then jumped up in his face and said, "Don't do that again." It's a very clear.
You've been asking for that for a year.
So I've been begging for that. The difference in these guys winning or losing the championship with their ability to be nasty.
And Jalen
Gotta bring
did
back
that to Green.
back
Jalen
that
did that to
aggressiveness.
Draymond in the finals too. I thought that was important, but other guys
Well,
can follow his lead.
Well, he didn't do that.
Wait
to
a minute.
Draymond.
Wait a minute.
Yo,
Max did that
was
in the
getting-
finals.
Exactly. Max is
Ah.
getting in Draymond's face more than anybody on the Celtics team. All right, let's keep it 100.
Somebody had to.
I'm gonna
Max
turn to a Celtic
represented
Max podcast.
Hey, I didn't see.
I'm gonna
I
start
didn't.
talking my shit.
I didn't see Max partying with Draymond after the Celtics got worked in that series. So I mean, he's
No,
he
he
was at his wedding.
Look, you ain't gonna see me with Draymond taking no pictures down at the left. You done kicked my ass to win another ring. Hell,
You wouldn't
no.
go to that wedding? You wouldn't go to that wedding? No.
hell no.
Screw the wedding and screw the bride. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go to
Only
a
here.
wedding. I'm gonna go to a lost the championship against another guy, and I got my arm around him like he's my. I'm not doing that. I'm good.
Well, Max, let me ask you something, Max.
Yeah,
in
those are the
in
days.
'84, Max,
Oh.
if McAdoo invited you to his wedding, would you have gone?
Well, we won the game, Nick. Yeah, I can go.
So you'd have gone.
That's right. If you win the game,
That's
you can
true.
go. How
What about it?
that?
That's true. That is true. I take it back. That was dumb.
Max?
You think
we-
Draymond? You
Did
think
Max
Draymond would
freeze
have?
again? We may have lost him for a second.
No,
I
we
was,
lost
If it was,
if
if
we
it was
do
Tatum
get,
getting married,
Thank
I
you,
don't
Cedric
think
Maxwell.
Draymond
Up, he's
goes.
back.
Well, if the Celtics won, I should say.
oh, he's back. He's back.
I think they'll let me back one more time. Yeah,
We got you.
I could do
Did you hear him?
my other wedding, and without going to the wedding, I like Bob. Again, here's the difference, Nick. We won. I didn't
right.
lose. To go to your wedding
Well, that is
as a
true.
winner, I'm good. But I'm not
That is
going as
true.
a loser. I'm sorry.
That is true. That is true. That is
Max,
true.
We appreciate you jumping on with us. Real quick before you go, give us just your quick take on the Celtics going in this road trip here. 4 straight wins. Seems like maybe they turned the corner after a bit of a slide out west.
Well, we have somebody who is on the air with us right now. Is wearing a green something. Said to me, "Oh, there's some questions." So he has to.
Joe Mazzulla has to answer some questions.
Oh, I think we just lost. Did we lose?
We lost him. That's what he was saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did say that. I mean, they went into the Golden State game unprepared, I felt, where Steve
Yeah.
Kerr outcoached them.
And
Yeah,
I
but
think
you
Matt.
felt that way before Christmas, right? Or you still feel
The
that way?
Clippers too. Don't forget
No, I
the
don't feel
Clippers
that
right
way.
after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a... And then he
That's
came
why this
off...
one's
He's
important.
back.
And
Give
you
him
know
one more
what, Nick?
chance. Let's let him see if he can finish.
I did feel that way, Max. Oh, there he goes again. It's all right, Max.
Says he's got a good connection, but
yeah,
it might
not.
be
It does that sometimes, Jim.
It's sometimes. You know how it is.
Josue-
He's not on
Josue knows
Wi-Fi.
all too well.
Josue.
This is way worse than Josue.
Hey.
So
But
listen,
for Max,
do
we
we
put
have
up
to have
with it.
another conversation about Wi-Fi?
No,
Sean?
we don't. We don't.
we don't talk about Wi-Fi.
We don't. We definitely do
Wi-Fi
not.
So-
shaming is not cool.
I
You
did
should
say
have a
that
disclaimer.
because I felt that was the case going into those three games.
When do the Warriors come back to the Garden?
They don't. Next year.
It's getting worse.
Oh wait,
they're
This
coming
year
to
they
the
didn't play
Garden
yet.
January 19th, so it's coming up. They'll get their
Bobby,
chance just like they did tonight.
Look
Before
at the
you
chance.
got
You think
here,
you think they're all making reservations at Contessa for post game or what?
Strega,
That is an
Probably.
interesting
Strega.
question. Yeah,
Strega's
we'll
the
see
move.
what they do.
Strega.
I wouldn't
Bobby,
be surprised if they don't this year.
I said another impressive thing about tonight was the Celtics haven't always been great at revenge games. Let's face it. You know, Golden State for one. Tonight they came out with a vengeance to prove that wasn't them a month ago, and I loved that.
Yeah.
You know?
They started
Well,
0-6.
I think they remember that game so vividly because again, it was like they were outscored each quarter. They were just every time they had a little bit of a momentum going, it was taken away. And I think the Clippers do a really good job of just like sensing when a team is starting to fall apart a bit, right? Even if it's only like 2-3 minute span. And I think that's what makes them such a good team, especially when you look at who they've been this season, which is a team that that team that's made a whole lot of comebacks and a team that's given up big leads as well. So that's
Nick, don't answer that. Also, how about vibrate next time? You're on air, buddy. Have some freaking.
I have no friends. No one calls me.
Well,
How about
that I won't
vibrate?
argue, but I'd still put it on.
Besides Cedric, my buddy.
All right, guys. We've been on air for over 2 hours. Nick and Guy started
That's a
things off
wrap.
in the
7-game homestand.
Yep, in the fourth quarter tonight, these guys went live. I'm going to have to watch that 40 minutes back to see if we're even going to be on the air again. I don't know what happened with Nick running the show without any of us keeping him under
Without any parental guidance.
keeping the reins on in some
not even
some
a
capacity. But let's go. Let's get your guys, Bobby and Josue, your final thoughts from the game, and then Nick, I guess we'll take yours too since you're here.
Might be my final thoughts. Period.
That'd be your final thoughts ever, so get them all out. But Josue, why don't you start us?
Well, you know what? To piggyback on what Max was talking about, what Jaylen Brown did to Giannis, that should go. That same type of attitude should happen against any team, right? I like one of the quotes that Damon said after this game about Jaylen Brown was that he's a bully, and I don't think he meant that in the classic sense of the word, right? I think what he means is that like he has a sort of way he carries himself and the way he'll get in people's faces if he needs to, and that's something that Jaylen didn't always do a year ago or 2 years ago. So I'm going to say that I want to see more of that from Jaylen, and I hope that resonates throughout, with the other guys, like that us against the world mentality. We're on the road. Let's try to sweep this thing. I think that's the sort of mindset this team is. Most of these guys, especially the starters, are gearing towards. It's almost as if they've learned from their mistakes. They want to get better, but they also want to push guys around a bit and show everyone that they're the top team in the NBA. And I like that. I think this is an important part of the season for them to sort of make that turn to another, take it up another notch, another echelon. And I think this road trip could put them in that space for sure.
I'm gonna skip over Bobby because this is gonna be 15 minutes. So,
As it should be.
If you introduce it like that, probably not. But.
Bobby can go for as long as he wants. But
he
Nick,
could, but I just want to throw in there quick to piggyback on what Josue was saying. It could be doubled down as my closing thoughts. The last press conference, Jason Tatum. I think Bobby asked him the question. Forget the Pippen Jordan BS. The amount of times that Tatum has said the word, we want to win. We only want to win. Win. I can remember for 2 seasons, Bobby knows this well, some of the viewers that were here then, all I bitched about was you never hear Jason Tatum talk about winning or about we. It's always about MVPs and all NBA teams, and that has changed. That's called maturing. But for me, having him be the leader of the team and take that stance makes all the difference, and it's just showing the evolution of this team. And I think good things to come, like his coach said yesterday. good things are coming.
Yeah, I'll second Josue's on Jalen. The bite back he had in this game was just awesome, and he was the best guy out there tonight. I felt like on a court with Kawhi, George, and Tatum. And yeah, we'll have our finals conversation forever about who is the best in that series. But they're doing it together now, 29 each. They were just a point each from stacking on that leaderboard that I was talking about in that presser, Nick. They're both there every night. It's not my turn, your turn. They're doing it in a flow. Brown has found and embraced his role. I think this last week or two, and I've been harping on in these pressers, obviously, are just a great example of how these two have figured it out, which we had a million conversations last year. The fact that we went from can these guys play together to Kobe Shaq, and they're going to pass Kobe Shaq next year. They're going to be the top scoring duo ever if they stick together. It's special stuff. It's really cool to see it night in, night out now that it's working the way it is. And you know what? If this team's healthy, they're going to win it all this year. I think they just have too much talent, too much defense, too much scoring, too much playmaking. They're just a level above even a team like the Clippers. Fully healthy Clippers tonight just looked overwhelmed at times. Gotta love where the Celtics are at.
Great.
Gotta love it. Going on the road trip. Is anybody going out on this trip, or are we gonna be?
Josue.
Okay, Joe.
Yes,
Where
and
you
no.
heading? You head?
Just the Dallas stop. Luka versus Tatum.
That's a big one. That's the biggest one there is.
We all want to see.
We're gonna be pumping this up for all week. Going into the new year, obviously, it's not till next Thursday, but yeah, we'll
just had literally an all-time game.
Yes, and I'm excited to see these two go at it.
He's in the MVP consideration, obviously, along with Tatum. That's going to be an awesome game. Josue will have you guys covered from top to bottom out in Dallas. Before that, though, we will be back Sunday against Denver, kid. The new year. We'll see you guys next year, I guess.
Jimmy, I'll do your favorite. I'll see you next year, Jimmy.
Yeah, just did it.
You just did it.
Everyone's getting that, Nick. Everyone's getting that in the office tomorrow.
Nick said it with the right tone, though.
I did.
Hey,
seriously, though, guys.
Next year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Jimmy, great job tonight, man.
Thanks, Nick. Happy New Year to everybody at home or in your car. Hopefully not in your cars, but at home, at work. Wherever you are watching it, or if you're going to watch it back tomorrow, which is now today if you're hearing it live. Thank you guys so much. It's been a great year. Obviously, covering the Celtics team with these guys and, talking to all you guys in the chat and on Twitter and everywhere else. So we appreciate the support. We're going to keep it going strong into the new year, and we'll go as far as this Celtics team will take us, and then we'll keep going when they stop. So we've been doing this since the bubble started, and there's no end in sight. So I want to thank Guy Neer for jumping on tonight, his first Garden appearance.
Yes.
Special thank you also to Cedric Maxwell, who made a surprise appearance. We had a full house tonight. Nick Gelso,
that's his debut,
owner of CLNS himself, joining us, and as far as we know, didn't get canceled. I guess again we're
I did all right tonight.
Run back the tapes later, but
the night is young.
Josue and Bobby holding it down from the Garden tonight. They're going to do a little stand-up, I think, after this. You can find all that stuff on our YouTube channel. You can follow them at Josue on Twitter, at Real Bobby Manning on Twitter, at Real Bob Manning on Twitter. I want to make sure I get that right. And that'll do it. We will see you guys Sunday in Denver in 2023. So happy New Year to everybody.
2023.
Hey, shout out to the network. We had a great year.
We had a great
year. And you know what? Me and Josue on the ground. I'm proud of the work we've done down here.
I am.
We all are
extremely proud.
Thank you, guys.
I want to do that. Happy New Year. I'm just going to post some comments here. Happy New Year to you guys. And
Happy New Year, guys.
We will
especially our audience.